Hello, 1, 2, check, 1, 2. Before we start, checking lang po ng audio. Naririnig po ba ako? Kindly chat in the chat box kung naririnig po. Yes, thank you po, Miss Kimberly. Yan. So, pasensya na nagkaroon ng problem dun sa unang link. I had to set up again. Thank you po, Miss Honey Rose. Sige, let's just wait for the others to come in para mag-start na po. Apologies again for the technical difficulties. Okay. Thank you po, Sir Alan. Wait lang natin hanggang siguro at least mag-20 tayo before we start para at least marami tayong makasali. Okay? Thank you. And if you know anyone who wants to know about income tax filing income tax for individuals, lalo na malapit na ang filing, you may share this link, YouTube live link to them para lang din maraming matuto pa, di ba? So, sige. Again, this is for free. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So I guess we can start our seminar. Before anything else, let me just introduce myself. And again, first of all, thank you for joining me this Saturday for this seminar on income tax on individuals. So to introduce myself, I am John Paul Wanya. I'm the managing partner of Wanya and Partners and also the host of and speaker of today's seminar and who will introduce to you and teach you kung paano nga ba mag-file ng income tax. So hopefully, medyo mahaba-haba to just to manage your expectations. Medyo 2 hours and plus tayo. So I hope you stick through all of it kasi ituturo talaga namin kung paano kayo or kung gusto niyo talagang kayo mismo yung mag-file, at least matututo po kayo. Okay? So this is a recorded seminar. And in ever na kailangan yung umalis or kailangan yung mag-log out, again, you could see this or view this in our YouTube channel. On our YouTube channel, just subscribe in our YouTube channel na lang para makikita nyo kung yung replay niya. Okay? So yan. So I'll just share my screen. Ayan. So, start na tayo. So, hopefully meron pang mga dumating. So, please share na lang din. Okay? So, disclaimer, anything discussed here does not constitute a professional advice and must be taken with caution. Okay? I am no attorney. So, hindi pa po ako pwedeng tawagin attorney. Pero, no attorney-client relationship is formed by mere attendance to this seminar and or asking questions. Okay? So, ayan, wala naman siguro naka-mic sa inyo. So, dati kasi naka-Zoom ako. So, trinay ko lang din na mag-YouTube live para lang din mas maganda yung reach din. Okay? Pero if you have questions, yun, have your pens and notebooks ready for all the notes and all the tips that I would give you. Ayan, sana malagay niyo yan. And also, ayan, for your questions, don't be shy. Lagay lang po kayo sa chat box. And siguro, when we have our short breaks, before we resume, after that short breaks, baka pwede ko ma-entertain yung some of your questions. Okay? So, yan. So, this seminar, ayan, para lang din alam nyo, is for the self-employed or your entrepreneurs with DTI registered certificates, either online or traditional. Kasi, di ba, madalas kapag sinasabi na, ay, online ako, hindi naman ako kailangan mag-register. Pero hindi nga, di ba? Kailangan mo pa rin mag-register, and being that you are already registered, kailangan mo na din talaga mag-file ng inyong income tax returns. Okay? So, this is also for professionals, whether licensed or unlicensed, and of course, freelancers as well. Okay? So, I hope na nandiyan kayo, kung sino man kayo dyan, maraming salamat sa pag-attend. Okay? So, objectives. Number one is to, again, define what is income tax. Okay? Kasi sa sobrang dami ng binabayaran nating tax, kailangan muna nating definite na income tax yung binabayaran ko. Okay? And then also, sino-sino nga ba yung dapat ma-subject sa tax? And ano nga ba yung mga kailangan ko? Or ano-ano ba mga income ang subject sa tax? Kailan nga ba yung deadlines nito? Paano nga ba mag-file? So, lahat yun, in the span of 2 hours or so, lahat sasagutin natin yun. Okay? So, yan. Before anything else, of course, medyo concept muna tayo, medyo boring, pero kailangan nyo kasing malaman muna kung bakit ka nga ba nagbabayad ng tax. Okay? So, what is tax? So, tax is a forced contribution. Okay? So, parang medyo, mahirap yun, di ba? Contribution, di ba? Parang sariling ambag yun. Kaya lang force, okay? Wala kang choice, okay? So, ito yung tinatawag ng iba, ano yung ambag mo? So, madalas, ang ambag natin ay buwis, okay? Ito talaga yung ambag natin. Bakit nga ba tayo nag-aambag? For the payment of expenses of the government. Siyempre, especially now, nitong COVID, kaya nga hindi pina-extend yung April 15 deadline kasi daw kailangan natin na kailangan ng gobyerno ng buwis, pambayad ng mga vaccines and all, kailangan nila to combat COVID. Kaya hindi nila in-extend yung deadline, okay? So, other than COVID, syempre marami pang expenses yung gobyerno. Yung ilaw sa poste sa may highway, hindi naman po libre yan dahil sa gobyerno ka, libre yan. Hindi naman, di ba? Binabayaran pa din yan ng gobyerno. At anong pinambabayad? Yung ambag mo. Okay? Which is yung tax. Sinong gumagawa ng tax? Yung Kongreso. Okay? Yung mga ini-elect nating mga congressman at senador, sila talaga ang nagle-legislate ng batas para sa tax. Okay? So, kapag merong tax na medyo mataas or medyo mababa or medyo unfair, ayan, yung congressman yung sisihin ninyo. Okay? Yung representative nyo doon. Kasi sila talaga yung nag-craft ng batas para sa buwis, okay? Eh, ano yung BIR, di ba? Yung BIR, sila lang naman yung taga-kolekta ng buwis, okay? Ano-ano ba ang mga iba't ibang taxes, okay? Sabi natin kanina, madaming tax. So, ano-ano nga ba yun? Number one would be yung income tax. Halos lahat tayo, alam natin kung ano yun, di ba? Pero meron pang business taxes, yung VAT, or other percentage taxes, and pagdating sa kanya-kanyang lokalidad, meron tayong tinatawag na local taxes. So, 'di ba? Lalo na kapag bago ka sa business, magugulat ka, ay babayaran pa pala to, ay meron pa palang i-file na ganito. Ayan, kasi maraming klase ng taxes. Pero for this afternoon, we'll just tackle about income tax. Okay? I hope my audio is clear. Ayan. So, yeah. Next ko lang. Ayan. For sales, ayan, bago tayo pumunta sa income tax na discussion ng todo-todo, kailangan muna natin na na i-define ng maayos ano bang pinagkaiba ng sales or benta sa income or kita. Kasi madalas lalo na yung mga baguhan sa business, sa negosyo, akala nila yung sales yun na yung mismong kita, okay? At hindi pa yun, di ba? Kasi meron pa tayong ibabawas doon. So, kailangan ma-define natin ng maayos kasi may iba't ibang buwis para doon. Pag sinabi nating sales or benta, ayan, it's the amount of proceeds from the sale without deducting any cost or expenses. So, ito, kung magkano yung selling price mo, yun yung sales mo, di ba? Samantala, ang income is yung sales less your expenses, nandun yung kita. Yung tipong talagang wala na. Yun na yung net profit mo talaga. Okay? Bakit kailangan clear ito? Kasi may kanya-kanya silang tax. May kanya-kanya silang tax. Okay? Para sa sales, ang tinatax ay VAT or other percentage tax. Okay? For income, okay, ang tinatax ay yung income tax. So dito, yung income tax, tinatax na yung dulo. Okay? Less expenses. Okay? Kasi most of the time, marami nagtatalo. Hindi, doon yan sa sa sales Hindi sa income yan. Okay? So ang income tax ay tax sa income, sa net income. Samantala, ang VAT or other percentage taxes ay tax sa collection mo or sa binebenta mo. Walang less ng expenses. Okay? I hope that is clear. Okay? So, just to provide you a clear application of what we have discussed, yung sales na 700,000, yan yung ang ma-apply na tax yan ay yung VAT or other percentage tax. Okay? Samantalang yung 300,000 na net income, na neto na ng mga lahat ng mga expenses, ay ang matatax naman ay income tax. Okay? Madalas kapag may kausap kaming kliyente, lagi sila nagugulat, ha? Iba pa ba yung income tax sa VAT? Iba pa po yun. Kasi nga, yung isa, ang tinatax ay yung kita, yung isa naman, ang tinatax ay yung benta, yung nasa tuktok. Ngayon, ang pinag-uusapan natin ay yung kita. Okay? Which is dapat neto ng mga expenses ninyo. Okay? I hope that is clear. Okay? So, yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Sir Nemerson, for telling me na natatakpan yung Thank you po. So, let's go to the details. Who are required to be taxed? So, who are required to be taxed? Number one would be your individuals and second would be your corporations. Okay? So, hindi naman puro individuals lang or tayong mga individuals yung matatax, pati din yung corporation. Kaya nga meron tayong isa pang seminar for income tax on corporation. Pero this time, we'll just talk about individuals. Okay? So, kailangan muna nating malaman kung ano-ano ba yung iba't ibang klase ng individual for tax purposes. Okay? So, may iba't iba kasi yan hindi lang basta, ay, tao ka, itatax kita. Hindi ganun yun. May iba't ibang klase ng tax sa kada ibang klase ng tao. Okay? Number one would be citizens. Okay? So, sino yung citizens? Yan yung talagang Pinoy. Okay? By the definition of the Constitution, you are a Filipino. Okay? Pero sa tax code, sabi nila, binigyan pa niya ng subclass yan, whether you're a resident citizen or a non-resident citizen. And magkaiba yung tax nila. Okay? So, medyo technical to, pero kailangan nating malaman. I'll show you why later on. Okay? So, you are considered a resident citizen if you stayed in the Philippines for most of the time. Okay? So, hindi ka lumabas Okay, so lalo na ngayon, nagka-COVID, hindi ka naman nag-a-abroad, so you are considered a resident citizen. Okay? Or kung lalabas ka naman daw ng Pilipinas, hindi tatagal ng 183 days. Okay? So yan. Bakit importante to? Kasi kapag nasabi na ikaw isang resident citizen, you are taxable on all income earned inside the Philippines or outside the Philippines. So kunyari, nagkaroon ka ng income sa US pero resident citizen ka, taxable ka pa rin dito sa Pilipinas. Okay? Bakit importanteng malaman to? Kasi for the past few weeks or days, may mga nabasa akong mga questions sa iba't ibang forum na ganito yung tema na isa po akong freelancer tapos employed po ako ng isang foreign company. Okay? So either developer siya or website designer or whatsoever. Okay? So employed nila ako. Foreign company employed ako pero dito ako sa Pilipinas gumagawa. Okay? Dito ko siya ginagawa yung kung ano man pinagagawa sa akin. Okay? Taxable po ba ako dito sa Pilipinas? Yun yung tanong. Okay? So, foreign company employs a Filipino citizen doing his service in the Philippines. Ang tanong, kailangan ko bang magbayad ng tax? Yun yung tanong niya. And the answer would be yes. Okay? Yes, you are required to pay your own taxes. Bakit ganun? Binabayaran niya ako, foreign currency, di ba? So, hindi ba outside the Philippines na yun? Kasi dun ko naman na-earn yung income. Which, sagot doon, hindi. Kasi you are considered as a resident citizen. And as a resident citizen, na dito mo ginagawa yung services mo, dito ka nagde-design ng iyong program or nagde-design ng iyong website or whatsoever, kung virtual assistant ka man ng mga foreign entities abroad, ayan, ang applicable doon is dito mo kasi ginawa yung service. Okay? At itinuturing kang resident citizen, kaya kailangan mong magbayad ng buwis. Okay? Kahit ang bayad pa sa'yo ay euro, dollars, or kailangan mong i-report yan dito sa Pilipinas. Okay? Case in point, okay? Ang ang pinaka magandang example ay si Manny Pacquiao. Okay? Si Manny Pacquiao. Bakit si Manny Pacquiao? Kasi 'di ba dati si Manny Pacquiao by the time 2012, 2013, nung time na yon is 'di ba madami pa siyang bouts outside, okay, sa Las Vegas. Okay? So nananalo siya doon, 'di ba? Kaya nga siya naging sikat. So yung winnings niya doon, 'di ba? Dinadala niya dito sa Pilipinas. Ngayon, sabi ni Kim Henares at that time, the commissioner of the Bureau of Internal Revenue said na, "Uy, taxable 'yan sa Pilipinas." Okay? Ano yung basis ni Kim Henares? Kasi resident citizen si Manny Pacquiao. Okay? Same goes for your freelancers nga being employed by a foreign entity. Okay? A foreign company. Okay? So, since dahil ang turing sa'yo ay resident citizen, matatax ka pa rin dito sa Pilipinas. In another example, yung nauuso ngayon, di ba, yung dropshipping. Okay? So, yung dropshipping, you could liken it, ako sa tingin ko, ang dropshipping, parang yung nagbebenta lang yan ng Avon. Okay? Wherein binibigyan ka ng catalog, okay? Bibigyan ka ng catalog, ay tapos pipili na lang yung customer sa website mo na, ito gusto ko, ito gusto ko. Wala kang inventory sa loob mo dito sa Pilipinas, tapos pero ang bumibili sa'yo, yung mga foreigners, kunyari international dropshipping ka. Okay? So ang dating mo doon is parang ahente ka ng supplier. Okay? Dahil parang ahente ka, yung service mo ay nanggaling dito sa Pilipinas, taxable ka pa rin. Okay? Kasi may mga nagtatanong, international dropshipper ako kailangan ko pa ba magbayad ng tax? Kailangan pa rin. Kasi parang naging ahente ka lang naman ng supplier mo from abroad. Okay? Kahit hindi naman ginawa dito or hindi naman kahit pinak dito, hindi nangyari. Kaya lang, ikaw yung nag-ahente at isa kang resident citizen. Okay? So, ayan. I'll expand more on freelancers and dropshipping in other videos na din. Okay? So, yan. But moving on, let's go to non-resident citizens. For non-resident citizens, these are people or citizens who stayed outside the Philippines for most of the time. Okay? They stayed outside the Philippines for more than 183 days. Okay? So ito yung mga tinatawag natin mga bagong bayani, most of them, the OFWs. Okay? So yung mga OFWs naman, kadalasan ang tanong, paano yan? Okay? Kasi ngayon yung mga OFWs matatalino na, 'di ba? Hindi na lang sila umuwi dito nagbibigay ng pasalubong. Ang ginagawa nila, nag-i-invest na dito sa Pilipinas. So ang tanong nila, kapag ba ako nagtayo ng business sa Pilipinas habang nandito ako sa abroad, taxable ba 'yun sa Pilipinas? At sabi diyan, yes. Okay, lahat ng income mo, okay, na nanggagaling sa Pilipinas, magiging taxable kahit OFW ka pa. Okay? Pero yung sweldo mo bilang OFW, hindi gagalawin ng BIR. Okay? Kasi nga, ang tawag sa'yo ay non-resident citizen. Ang gagalawin lang nila, ang bubuwisan lang nila ay yung business mo or na tinayo dito sa Pilipinas. Okay? So, madaming ganyan ngayon, di ba? Siyempre, yung mga naghahanda na umuwi na lang dito sa Pilipinas, nagtatayo na ng business. Yes, you are required to register and yes, you are required to file and pay, if any, your taxes. Okay? So, yan. And then, we have what we call aliens. Ayan. Siyempre, hindi naman din sila pwedeng mawala. Okay? So, hindi naman ganyan kapangit yung itsura ng alien. Madalas nga, nung pwede pa silang pumunta dito, ganyang kapogi yung alien na nakikita natin. Pumupunta sa MOA, mag-hi hello lang, tapos bayad na sila doon. Ang tanong doon, taxable ba sila? And the answer is yes, taxable sila. Okay? Sa kanilang mga experiences, natatax ang mga aliens. They are considered non-resident aliens not engaged in business. Okay? Kasi hindi naman sila nagtatagal dito. And then, we have also non-resident aliens and resident aliens. So, for resident aliens, ito yung mga, madalas kung nagtrabaho ka sa isang multinational companies, ayan, makikita mo iba't ibang lahi, parang United Colors of Benetton yung datingan. Pero sila, ayan, taxable din sila dito sa Pilipinas. Okay? So yan, I would not expound more on aliens, pero just to give you an info na yes, they are also taxed. Okay? Eto, when are income taxes due? Okay? If you have one take away from this seminar, kung maboring ka na sa akin kakasalita, at least bear in mind this slide, okay? Kailan nga ba, kung ikaw ay nagnenegosyo at registered ka na kay BIR, kailan nga ba kailangan mo mag-file at kung kinakailangan magbayad ng income tax, okay? So if you are an individual, ayan, ito nga mas madali, you have a set of deadlines, okay? For the first quarter, covering January to March of the current year, let's say 2021, January to March 2021, kailan mo siya ipapasa? May 15 of 2021 or the current year. Kaya nga, I made it so timely na bago kayo mag-file ng income tax return, dapat mapanood nyo na tong seminar na to. Okay, so May 15 of the current year. Then, susunod na income tax return will be second quarter. That would cover income coming from April to June. Okay, and that deadline would be August 15 of the current year, 2021. Okay, the third quarter, okay, would be covering July to September, and then November naman. Okay, so what forms will you use for those quarterly income tax return? You will use BIR Form 1701Q. Okay, 1701Q. Okay, pero merong mas pa yan, may extension pa yan kasi merong update si BIR. Pero yan, yan yung pinaka-generic niya, BIR Form 1701Q. And of course, by next year, you will consolidate from January to December, ayan yung buong income mo, okay, yung operations mo, and then file it on April 15. And you will use either BIR Form 1701 or 1701A. Depende kung ano yung pinili mo, whether itemized or 8% or OSD. Yes, okay? So, yan. So, eto na lang, yung shortcut dyan is MANA. Okay? So, yung shortcut mo for income taxes due for sole proprietors is mana. Okay, mana. So, May 15, August 15, November 15, and April 15. Okay, you will use for the quarterly is BIR Form 1701Q. And for the annual, which will be submitted next year, April 15, would be either BIR Form 1701 or BIR Form 1701A. Okay, so I hope that is clear. Again, if you have any takeaways from this seminar, at least ito man lang. Huwag ka lang ma-penalize, di ba? So yan, mawala ka man sa computation mamaya, at least alam mo, may ma-file ka. Okay? Most frequently asked question would be, can I file and pay my returns online? Okay? Kasi baka naabutan mo pa dati yung kailangan pang pumunta sa BIR para mag-file. And the answer to that is yes. Okay? You could file and pay your returns online, your tax returns. And ayan, at ngayon, ayan, dato pa kasi to, you can now download the newest version which is 7.9. Okay? So, kailan pa tong 7.6? Nung ano pa, last year pa to, nung una kong seminar ng income tax for sole proprietors. Pero now, if you go to the BIR website, you will now see EBIR Forms 7.9. Okay? One thing to note is that always be alert or vigilant or stay updated on the updates on the offline EBIR forms. Okay? Kasi madalas nagbabago yan. Okay? Especially kapag merong bagong rates or may mga patches or may mga bugs yung EBIR forms, binabago nila yan. And it is best that you download the latest version para hindi ka na magkaroon ng problema. Okay? So again, apologies for that, but you can now download the 7.9, okay, at the bir.gov.ph. Okay? Sir, ang sabi dito offline eh. So wala nang kailangang internet. Medyo misnomer yan o mali yung pagkakalagay dyan, okay? Kailangan may internet ka dyan. Kailangan nga ng malakas na internet kasi kapag babagal yung internet mo, ayan, hindi magpo-proceed yung ano mo, yung filing mo. So kailangan yung offline dyan, hindi talaga siya offline. Kailangan may internet ka. Okay? So yan. So most of the new registered companies or entities, including individuals, okay, use the EBIR forms na. Okay? But some, ayan, this is what, when you download the EBIR forms package pala, ito yung magiging itsura niya. Okay? You'll just input your details here para malagay, masave, and then para hindi mo na paulit-ulit. Okay? So, just input your TIN, your RDO code. Of course, all the information that you need or will come from your BIR Form 2303 or your COR. Okay, your Certificate of Registration. Okay? So, kailangan kapag pinilapan mo to, katabi mo yung BIR Form 2303 mo. Okay? So, yan. We'll, again, tackle how to fill up the form later on. Okay? So, yan. Now, the question would be, can I pay online? Yes, I can file online, but can I pay online? And yes, the BIR has now services to pay your tax dues online. Okay? So you have Land Bank, Development Bank of the Philippines, Union Bank, PesoNet, Globe GCash, and Pay Maya. Okay? Personally, what we use is the Union Bank. Okay? So hindi ko naman sila promote, pero Union Bank baka naman. Then, joke lang. So yeah. Pero GCash nagagamit din. Pero mas handy kasi yung GCash sa iba. Pero sa amin, mabilis din yung Union Bank. Okay? So, yan. Ito naman, EFPS is another online filing system. However, this is mostly for big companies na. Okay? Kasi medyo complex siya. Okay? Kapag bago ka pa lang, hindi ka kagad i-mandate or i-oobliga na gamitin yung EFPS. Unless kinakailangan. Kunyari, gusto mo maging importer or exporter, ayan, kailangan naka-EFPS ka. Okay? Mandatory na naka-EFPS ka. Kahit kasi i-start mo pa lang. Okay? Medyo complex siya kasi meron siyang tinatawag na maker, authorizer, ayan, kasi nga, ano siya kailangan na na business na kasi to. So parang may audit trail kumbaga kung tawagin namin sa accounting. Okay? So yan. So kapag malakihan ka na, ayan, pag big time ka na, magiging EFPS ka na rin. Okay? So yan. So again, since this is a long discussion, we have a break muna. Ayan, para lang may water break lang po tayo. So, if you have any questions about what we have discussed so far, ayan, please do not be shy. Just put it in the chat box and maybe we could discuss a little about your question. So, let me just have this 5-minute break and then we will resume our discussion. Ayan, sorry again. So, sige, okay na yan. Nakainom na ako ng tubig. Again, apologies for those who were in the previous link na-send namin. Nagkaroon lang ng problema dun sa previous link. So, we had to um, have another link for that. So, ito na po yun. So, but yes, this will be recorded and you could replay this session again. Okay, so we'll leave it here. Again, I hope you do subscribe in our channel. Kasi aside from seminars like this, we'll be, again, uploading other valuable tidbits, especially with tax and accounting. So, ayan, para mas malalo kayong maging knowledgeable with tax and accounting and finance as well. Okay? So, ayan, thank you, Sir Valerie, for understanding. So, let us proceed again. So, let's go to the proper filing of return. So, dito pala naman tayo sa talagang meat ng ating discussion, yung paano nga ba mag-file ng tax return, as in step by step. Ihahawakan ko kayo sa kamay at tuturo ko sa inyo kung paano nga ba mag-file at ano yung kailangan yung mga in-consider sa pag-file ng returns. Okay? So, completing the profile. Again, ayan, ito yung profile nyo. So, again, you'll need your BIR Form 2303 with you and then the information in your 2303, ayan, i-input nyo dyan sa inyong profile, sa tax profile. So, ayan. So, once you have that input, you just go to your fill up at mag-fill up na kayo. If this is the first time you'll be installing your EBIR forms, then kapag clinic mo yung fill up, meron lang confirmation page wherein you'll just confirm your tax identification number and email address that you'll where your email confirmation will be sent. Okay? One very, very important detail about this profile is that you must have a working email address. Okay? Na ilalagay mo dyan. Kasi lahat ng email confirmation, lahat ng acknowledgement ng BIR na na-receive nila yung na-file mong return, okay, online, mapupunta dun sa email address na yun. And make sure na nakaka-receive yon ng email, and pangalawa, nabubuksan mo. Okay? Kasi when the time comes, when magkaroon ng audit or so, or kailangan mong i-close yung business, or meron kang tinatawag nilang open cases, ayan, dun mong hahalungkatin dun sa email lahat ng mga proof mo at sasabihin mo kay BIR, ay, ito po yung yung final ko po. Okay? Ito po yung returns at ito naman po yung email confirmation. So make sure that whatever email address that you have there is working and it's able to receive, and you could able to open it. Okay? So yeah. So let's go for BIR Form 1701Q muna. Kasi ito yung pinaka unang i-file, lalo-lalo ngayon, coming this May 15. Okay? The quarterly income tax return. Okay? So again, this is my info. So yan. So you go to a list of BIR forms. You again complete the profile. Once you have completed the profile, you go to the drop down and then choose BIR Form 1701Q. Okay? So tignan niyo lang din sa bago or sa mga kung kunyari magkakaroon ng update ng EBIR forms kung merong bago sila mga versions. Okay? Kasi minsan magkakasunod yan, 1701Q, 1701Q version 2018, 1701Q C 2018, ganon. So, tignan nyo kung ano yung pinaka-bago or pinaka-latest doon sa list na yon. Okay? So, but so far, ito pa lang naman yung latest pagdating sa 1701Q. Okay? Once you click fill up, again, if this will be your first time to install the EBIR Forms package, ayun nga, may magpa-prompt sa yung page asking you to confirm your PIN and your email. Once na na-confirm mo na, babalik ka lang dito sa profile page, click mo lang ulit yung fill up. Okay? So, hindi naman nag-error yun. Talagang kinonfirm lang talaga niya. So, once you click fill up, ito yung makikita ninyo. Your quarterly income tax return. Okay? Quarterly income tax return. Okay? So, here, for the year, this time, ito naman yung EBIR Forms package naman, nakikiayon siya kung ano yung nasa calendar mo, okay? Binabasa niya yung kung ano yung nasa calendar mo. So, it would be automatically at 2021 na, okay? So, pero kung di man mag-automatic, ayan, lagay nyo 2021. And if you're filing for May 15, you just click yung first, okay? Yung first. Quarter is first. So, again, you have 3 quarters to file, May, August, and November. Okay? So, yun yung deadlines nyo for quarterly income tax. Number 3 would be amended returns. Okay? Amended. Is the return amended or not? Okay? So, ano po ba yung amended return? So, syempre, tao lang naman tayo, nagkakamali. Minsan, kapag nag-file tayo, either kunyari, na mali na at may mali tayong detail doon or may na-miss tayong detail, wala na bang bawian yon? Pwede bang umulit-ulit? Pwede naman din po, okay? You'll just have to click again the same form and then click the amended return na yes, okay? Yan. Kaya lang, hindi yan madedetect. Kunyari, ginawa mo yung first or yung original return mo sa PC number 1, okay? Tapos, nagkamali ka, gusto mo ngayong mag-file ulit ng tama, okay? Kaya lang, ang gamit mo ngayon ay PC number 2, okay? Kasi di ka na dun lumipat ka ng PC, okay? Lalabas ba or papayagan ka bang niyang i-check yung amended return? Hindi, okay? Kasi nandun yung files mo sa PC number 1. So, kailangan mo doon ka sa PC number 1 or doon nakasave kasi yung profile mo sa PC number 1. Doon mag-yes yung amended return. Okay? Yung amended return. Okay? So, pero, One thing about amended return, sabi mo, ay pwede naman palang mag-amend or pwede naman palang magkamali tapos pwede naman palang umulit na lang, mag-file na lang ng amended. However, kapag madalas kang mag-amend ng return, okay, at lalo na yung amended return mo ay pabawas yung tax, ayan, magiging candidate ka, okay, ng BIR for tax audit, okay? So, as much as possible, make sure that your returns, whatever return it is, kailangan tama, okay? I-avoid natin yung mag-file ng amended return. Kasi kapag lagi ka nag-amend ng return, manonominate ka or magiging candidate ka ng BIR for audit. Okay? At ayaw mong naman mangyari yon kasi mahirap yon at magulo. Okay? Huwag na. So, again, when filing a return, please make sure na it is correct. Okay? So, for numbers 5, ayan, nakalagay na. Ayan, nakalagay na yan kasi nakalagay na doon yun sa tax profile ninyo. Then, your RDO code, ayan, naka-register pa ako sa Pasay RDO 51. And then, number 7 would be taxpayer filer type. Okay? So, are you a single proprietor or professional? And estate, ayan, kapag dead ka na, and trust kapag meron kang yung bumuo ka ng isang trust na entity. Okay? Pero ito lang naman yung, this would only concern you, either single proprietor or professional. Okay? So, single proprietor, ito talaga yung may mga DTI certificates. Ayan, yung nag-apply sa DTI at may DTI certificate. Professionals and yung either licensed or unlicensed. Okay? So, whichever, kung ano yung mag-a-apply sa'yo. Number 8 would be your alphanumeric tax code. Ayan. Business income, graduated income tax rates, and business income tax, 8% income tax rate. So, now, dati kasi, before the train law, before 2018, meron tayong, ang isa lang ng tax regime natin, which is the graduated tax table. But now, because of the train law, meron na tayong tinatawag na 8% tax rate, which I will explain later on. Okay? Pero, mas pinadali siya, mas pinagaan yung trabaho mo. However, there are some, of course, in every choice, may pros and cons yun. Okay? So, yan. So you have also your income from profession, either graduated or 8%, and then you have mixed income. Okay? Ano naman po itong mixed income? Okay? This is also another introduction of the train law. Dati wala tayong tinatawag na income tax. Mixed income tax earners. Okay? Wala kang tayong mixed income tax earners. Kaya lang dahil sa train law, nagkaroon na ng tinatawag na mixed income tax earner. So ano po yun? Yun yung individual na merong both employed siya, okay, under employer-employer relationship, sumasahod siya, okay, at kada kinsenas, kada buwan, or whatsoever, basta employed siya. And then, also, may side hustle siya or may business siya on the side, which is also registered with the BIR. So, kapag dalawa yung source of income mo, coming from employment and coming from a business or a practice of profession, you are called a mixed income earner. Okay? Mixed income earner. And that would have a tax implication, of course, kapag mixed income earner ka. We'll explain in a while. Okay? So, we'll just put your sa 9, yung name, nakasave naman na dyan, and so on. So, date of birth, kailangan nyo din ilagay dyan. Hindi naman po kayo babatiin ni BIR at bibigyan kayo ng cake, pero kailangan daw po nila yung date of birth ninyo. So, yan, importante yan. Si citizenship din, kailangan nakalagay din dyan. If ever you are a foreigner, ayan, you are also required to put your foreign tax number. Okay? So, ina-apply yan sa BIR din. And then, if you are claiming for foreign tax credits, ayan, kunyari, meron kang binayaran na tax sa, kunyari si Manny Pacquiao, sinabi niya kasi na, hindi ako magre-report dito ng income kasi nagbayad na ako sa US. Okay? So, ang dapat palang ginawa ng accountant ni Manny Pacquiao, dapat nag-claim na lang siya ng foreign tax credits para ma-credit yung kung ano man yung binayaran niyang tax sa US. Yun, yung foreign tax credit kapag nagbabayad ka ng tax coming from abroad. Okay? And 16, ayan, dito na tayo sa 16. Ito yung pinaka, gist natin. So, you have here graduated choice between graduated rates and 8%. So let us first go with graduated tax rates. Okay? So because of the train law, nagkaroon na tayo ng revised graduated tax table. So we have here the 1997 tax code. Ito yung tax table niya. Okay? Ang non-taxable is 10,000. Okay? Pero nung bandang 2018, nung start of 2018, we now have the train law wherein ang non-taxable is 250,000 na. Okay? 250,000 na. Okay? So, anong implication nito? Way back June 2020, nung kasagsagan na sinasabi ng BIR na pati yung mga online sellers kailangan mag-register. Okay? Tapos may sinabi yung ating gobyerno na sabi na ay kapag 250,000 pag 250,000 or less, okay, or not exceeding 250,000, wala kang tax na babayaran. Wala kang tax na babayaran. Ang sinabi niyang word is tax. Okay? So tama naman siya doon, kaya lang hindi lang niya na-emphasize na wala kang income tax na babayaran. Kasi based dito sa train law, sa ating table, kapag 250,000 and below, tama nga, wala kang income tax na babayaran. However, kapag maaari ka pa rin ma-impose ng ibang tax katulad ng percentage tax at VAT. Okay? So, yun lang din yung gusto kong linawin doon. So, yung less than 250,000 or not exceeding 250,000 rather is applicable only to income tax. Okay? Income tax. Ano nga po ulit yung income tax? Yung tax nung nandun sa dulo. Okay? Dun sa less na ng mga expenses. Okay? And then, anything in excess of 250,000 will be taxed from 20% to 35%. The maximum would be 35%. And of course, may mga fixed tax yan kada table. Okay, later on, we'll go talaga manually compute kung paano nga ba mag-compute ng tax natin. Okay? So, yan. So, when you choose graduated tax table, since you have a choice here, ano nga ba yung pinipili mo? Okay? When you choose a graduated tax table, you are choosing a computation wherein you could, from your sales, mula sa benta mo, pwede mong ibawas yung cost of sales or service mo. Okay? Ano po ba yung cost of sales or cost of service? Ito yung mga expenses mo na hindi pwedeng magkaroon, yan yung mga expenses na kinakailangan para magkaroon ka ng benta ng goods or services mo. Kunyari, nagbebenta ako ng t-shirt, okay? Para makabenta ako ng t-shirt, kailangan ko magpagawa ng t-shirt. So, yung pagpapagawa ko ng t-shirt, yun yung cost of sale ko. Okay? So, it's talagang necessary for me to do that. But for services naman, kunyari, accounting firm kami, ano yung cost of service ko? Ang cost of service ko is syempre yung pasahod ko sa mga empleyado ko, yung supplies ko, yung mga papel ko, that would be part of my cost of service. Paano pag nagpaparenta? Anong cost of service mo? Yung pagbayad mo ng amilyar. Ayan, yun yung cost of service mo. So, yun yung cost of sales or cost of service is your parang necessary expense for you to have that sale. Okay, that sale. And then less other operating expenses. Okay, so itong mga other operating expenses, this would be your expenses na pwede namang wala, pero pwede okay lang din naman meron. Okay, kunyari, for me, advertising is other operating expenses. Kasi pwede naman akong hindi mag-advertise, bebenta pa rin naman ako. Or pwede namang hindi, okay? Pwede naman din ako magkaroon ng advertisement. So, yan, katulad ng renta and so on, parang mabubuhay ka pa rin naman kahit wala yung expense na yun. Yun yung tinatawag na other operating expenses, okay? So, if you choose graduated tax table, ayan, what are the advantages? Number one, it allows you to deduct business-related expenses when you choose itemized deduction. So, ang daming pagpipilian pagdating sa 1701Q. Kaya kailangan na well-informed kayo. Okay? So, yan. So, when you choose itemized deduction, you could deduct yung business-related expenses ninyo. Okay? Emphasis on the word business. Okay? Kasi mga iba, pati yung grocery ng pamilya nila, sinasama doon. Okay? Makalusot lang. Pero yun nga, business-related expenses. We'll go through the conditions later on. And then, or you could choose either your 40% optional standard deduction, wherein your expenses, okay, would be automatically computed as 40% of your gross sales or gross receipts, okay, or revenues. Okay? So, wala ka na kasing mas madali yon kasi wala ka nang masyadong iisipin pa na conditions which I will discuss later on. However, it is complex. Okay, when you say graduated tax table and you choose graduated tax table, it is complex. Why? Ito pa lang yung table, di ba? Kung bago ka pa lang sa business at hindi mo maintindihan yung mathematics nito, malilito ka na. So, dyan pa lang sa table, nakakalito na. Okay? Needs to account for expenses and filing for expenses or purchases, invoice, or receipts for itemized deduction. Okay? In order for you, when you choose itemized deduction, in order for you to be allowed or for that expense to be valid, kailangan na meron kang mga resibo at kailangan i-account mo yun isa-isa. Isa-summarize mo, itatago mo yun isa-isa. Okay? So, isipin mo yung clerical work na kailangan para doon. Kung ikaw ay talagang full-time, hands-on na business owner at wala kang time para doon, parang aayaw ka sa graduated tax na itemized, di ba? Okay? So, yan. And then, you'll still be liable to pay business taxes such as your VAT or OPT. Okay? Kasi dun sa susunod na regime or sa isang regime na pag-uusapan natin na 8%, hindi ka na kailangan magbayad ng OPT. Okay? Pero sa VAT, ibang usapan yun. Okay? So, yan. So, here, ayan, punta muna tayo dito. Again, we're choosing graduated tax table na itemized. Okay? Na itemized. So, for sales and revenues and receipts, ayan, we go to page 2, 36A, and we put there the sales, revenues, and receipt for that quarter. Okay? Kunyari, itong January, itong 1701Q, pang anong sales yung ilalagay mo dyan. Okay? Dito yung madalas na mistake. Okay? Either ang nilalagay lang dyan yung pang April o kaya yung pang March or kaya yung iba ginagawa from January to April. Pero hindi nga. Ang ilalagay mo lang dyan is for that quarter only. So for May 15, ang ilalagay mo lang dyan yung mga naging benta mo from January to March 2021. Okay? January to March 2021. Number 2, common mistake is that hindi tugma yung 1701Q na sales mo doon sa final mo, which is earlier, na 2551Q or VAT, 2551Q or percentage tax return mo, or sa VAT na 2550Q. Okay? 2550Q. So, hindi tutugma. Okay? Kailangan, as much as possible, lalo na kapag sales of goods ka, tugma yun. Kung ano yung na-report mo sa VAT or percentage tax returns mo na sales, dapat tugma yun sa 1701Q. Okay? Bakit? Ano yung magiging problem mo kapag hindi tumugma yun? Kapag mas konti yung na-report mo sa 1701Q, kunyari, ang na-report mo sa other percentage tax return mo ay, let's say, 1 million. Okay? Pero ang nire-report mo lang ngayon dito sa 1701Q is 700,000 undeclared income yung tawag doon. Okay? Undeclared income subject sa penalties under income tax. So, masasubject ka sa tax deficiencies sa income tax. Okay? Paano naman kapag ang nangyari ay mas malaki itong 1701Q mo kaysa dun sa 2551Q or 2550Q? Anong mangyayari naman doon? Ang mangyayari naman doon is doon ka naman titirahin pagdating sa yung mga percentage tax or VAT return. So as much as possible, tugma sila. Okay? So, yun yung isa sa mga tip na sana ay ma-take note ninyo. Tapos, number 2 would be your receipts, okay? So, dapat ito din nire-report mo dito sa 1701Q at sa 2551Q as much as possible. Yun yung katugma ng kung ano yung mga naresibo mo doon sa kung anong naresibo mo on that quarter, okay? Kasi baka mamaya ang sinasabi mo lang dito 700,000. Pag nag-audit si BIR tapos tinignan niya yung mga resibo mo, bakit parang pang January to March mo pang 1 million na to? Eh di under-declared ka na naman. So, penalty na naman yon. So, kung ano yung nakalagay sa resibo mo, dapat tugma-tugma yon. Okay? Ganon mag-audit si BIR. Of course, I had experiences on that because on my corporate experience, yun yung hina-handle ko, which is tax audit. So, yun yung mga common mistakes na nangyayari. Okay? However, yun yung general rule. Okay? Kasi merong exception. Diba? For every general rule, may exception. Ano yung exception? Maaari na hindi magtugma yung 2551Q mo sa 1701Q. Bakit? Kapag ikaw ay nasa sale of services. Okay? Sale of services. Katulad namin, accounting firm. Okay? Katulad ko, accountant na lang. Okay? Maaaring may nakokolekta ko sa 2551Q kasi or sa 2550Q, ang basihan kapag services ka, yung collection, kung magkano yung nakolekta mo. Yun yung ilalagay mo doon. Okay? Kung ano yung nasa OR. However, dito sa income tax return, kapag sale of services ka, kung magkano na yung na-earn doon. Okay? Para mas simple, ito yung pinaka-simple example doon. Kunyari, nagpaparenta ka. Okay? Tapos, ang renta mo, 10,000 pesos per month. Okay? 10,000 pesos per month. Ito, sale of services to. Ito yung exception to the rule. Okay? Tapos, may isa kang tenant na sabi niya, uy, babayaran ko na yung 5 months para wala na akong iisipin pa. Okay? Wala na akong iisipin pa. Magkano ngayon ang ire-report mo sa yung 5 months na yan para sa January, February, March, April, May. Okay? Sabi niya, para wala na akong iisipin pa. Okay? Ang tanong, magkano na yung i-file mo or magkano yung i-file mo pagdating ng 1701Q? 50,000 ba o 30,000 lang? Ang sagot ay yung 30,000 lang. Kasi ito lang naman yung na-earn mo. Okay? So, medyo accounting side na yun, yung tinatawag naming accrual basis method of accounting. Pero pagdating naman sa 2551Q, magkano ang i-report mo? 50,000 naman. Kasi yun yung nakolekta mo talaga. Okay? So, yun yung parang nuances or complexities ng pagre-report sa income tax return. Okay? So, yan. Kailangan talaga medyo maalam sa accounting ng onting-onti lang naman. Okay? So, yan. Napunta tayo sa deductions. So, again, as I mentioned, when you choose graduated tax table, you are allowed to deduct certain deductions. You may choose between itemized deduction or optional standard deductions. Okay? So, when you choose itemized deduction, ano yung sabihin ng itemized deduction? Pagdating kasi ng 1701 or pag-file mo ng annual income tax return, lahat ng mga sinabi mong expenses mo for the quarters, first, second, and third, ayan, pati yung fourth, kailangan mo nang i-itemize. O, sabi mo, 1 million yung expenses mo. O, sa 1 million na yun, ilan yung napunta sa renta? Ilan yung napunta sa salaries? Ilan yung napunta sa supplies and expense? So, i-itemize mo yun. Kaya siya tinawag na itemized deduction. Okay? However, okay, hindi pwede na parang hinuhugot mo lang sa ere yung itemized deduction mo. Kailangan may support yun. Okay? As much as possible, supported yun ng mga receipts or invoices. Diba? So, ayan, ito yung mga conditions for you to be allowed a valid expense. Okay? In order to be allowed a business expense, the following condition must be met. Number 1, expenses are ordinary and necessary. Okay? Ordinary and necessary. So, with that, ano ba yung ordinary and necessary? Kailangan, yung expenses mo daw, kinakailangan mo talaga para sa kung ano mang business mo. Okay? Either lagi mo siya nagiging expense at kinakailangan mo talaga siya. And number 2, substantiated by documents such as but not limited to invoices and receipts. Okay? Invoices and receipts. Kailangan daw ng resibo. Okay? Or ng sales invoice. Ganon. At dito madalas nagkakaroon ng dilema ang mga registered taxpayers. Wherein, paano yun? Okay? Madalas kapag renta pala nagkakaroon ng problem. Paano yun yung lessor ko? Hindi naman nagbibigay ng resibo. Okay? Anong gagawin ko? Pwede ko pa ba yung Pwede ko pa ba yung i-deduct sa akin? So, technically, sabi nga ng tax code, kailangan substantiated ng invoices and receipts. Okay? So ano yung dapat na gawin mo? Okay? Para magamit mo talaga yung mga expenses mo. Okay? Dapat sana bago ka nagkaroon ng business, siguro inaral muna natin yung business natin. Alam muna natin kung sino-sino ba yung mga supplier natin. Tapos yung supplier na yun, dapat tinatanong natin, may resibo ka ba? Kaya mo ba ako bigyan ng resibo? Kasi kailangan ko yan sa income tax ko eh. Okay? So yan. Yung pagrerentahan mo ng opisina, pwede mo naman siyang tanongin, nagre-resibo po ba kayo yung pang BIR? Kailangan po kasi namin eh. So yun tinatawag natin na due diligence. Okay? Kailangan bilang isang entrepreneur, diligent ka din na pinoprotektahan mo din yung sarili mo. Okay? However, meron talaga mga panahon, kunyari, may magsasabi, paano po ako, restaurant ako or karinderya, registered sa BIR. Ang madalas na expenses ko ay pagbili ng mga ingredients mula sa palengke. Madalas, ang mga nasa palengke, wala namang resibo. Anong gagawin ko? Okay? So, madalas, ang na-advise na lang is kuha ka na lang ng voucher at ayan, ipapirma mo na lang dun sa nagtitinda at yun yung evidence mo na lang, okay? Technically, hindi siya ganun ka foolproof pero at least meron kang ebidensya, okay? Meron kasing tinatawag in one jurisprudence, in one case na tinatawag na Cohen rule. Wherein that Cohen rule is that basta mapatunayan mo lang naman na talagang may lumabas na expenses, pwede siyang maging valid. Okay? Pero medyo limited lang yung gamit ng Cohen rule. So as much as possible, kung bago-bago ka pa lang, maghanap ka na ng mga supplier na may resibo. Okay? So yan yung isa sa mga dilema ng mga registered businesses. Okay? Yan. At lalo na kapag sinabi mong itemized deduction ka. Okay? Tapos, yung mga resibo na yun, kung meron ka mang mga resibo, kailangan i-safekeep mo or kailangan mong itago for 10 years. Okay? For 10 years. So, isipin mo yun. Itong 2021, kailangan mong itago hanggang 2031. Okay? And then yung 2022 and so on. 10 years lang, 10 years. Pero sabi naman ng BIR, hindi, okay lang yan. Yung 10 years, 5 years, hard copy, and 5 years, soft copy, iscan mo na lang isa-isa, di ba? So, wish ko lang kung kaya mong isa-isahin yun. Buti kung onti lang yung mga expenses mo, pero yun yung sabi ni BIR. So, syempre, mag-hire ka na lang siguro ng tao para mag-scan nun or para magtago ng mga resibo mo. Okay? So, yeah. And number 3, ito yung isa sa mga nakakalimutan ng iba. Withholding tax on certain expenses are required to be withheld. Okay? Some expenses kailangan ng withholding tax. So yung iba sa inyo, di ba? Nung nag-register po tayo sa BIR, anong tinatanong ng BIR? Nagre-renta ba to? Meron ba tong mga empleyado? Bakit nila tinatanong? Kasi nilalagyan nila ng tax type na withholding tax expanded or withholding tax compensation. Okay? Ano yung importansya niyan sa income tax? Okay? Kasi, lalo na pagdating sa renta, hindi ka pwede magsabi na 1 million yung rent mo. Okay? 1 million. Kasi, para mababa yung tax. Ayan. Ang gagawin ni BIR dyan, sabi mo 1 million yung expense mo. Tignan ko nga yung withholding tax returns mo. Kung 1 million nga talaga yung withheld mo, okay? Doon niya pagbabanggain yun. Kapag hindi yun bangga, again, penalty yun. Sabi mo meron kang compensation na 100, let's say 500,000. Tingnan nga natin yung 1601C mo kung magtutugma yun sa 500,000. Kapag hindi, again, penalty yun. Parang it is a control, parang control yun ng BIR na, Alam ko dito mo yan ilulubog. Alam ko dito mo yan itatago. So, ilalagay natin yan ng withholding tax at dun ko kayo huhulihin. So, hindi basta-basta hinuhugot yun. Kailangan tugma yun sa withholding tax returns ninyo. Lalo na yung rent, lalo na yung salaries ninyo. Then, yung iba pa, yung mga professional fees and so on. So, we'll discuss more on that on withholding tax on a separate video or a separate seminar na lang po. Okay? And ito, isa pa, you are required, whenever you choose itemized deduction, you are required by the time na you file your annual income tax return to have a financial statement attached to it. Okay? Kailangan may financial statement. Bakit? Kasi doon nila titignan, tugma ba yung expenses nito? Baka mamaya, sabi mo 500 lang yung expense mo sa FS pagdating sa kapag dating sa ITR 200,000 na, okay? Or 500,000 sa 1 million na. Mas malaki sa ITR. So doon ka din niya huhulihin, okay? So maraming control si BIR diyan and you must be very vigilant on that and take note na yung mga expenses hindi lang basta kinukuha yan sa ere. Okay? So yeah. We have a question here. Ask ko lang po kasi nasa part na po tayo ng yung ano ang support ko po doon. Thank you po, Miss Grace. Ayan. Ano ang support ng sales? So, just go back. So, for sales, yung support mo doon is of course whether your sale of goods, your support would be your BIR sales invoice, whether VAT or non-VAT. And then kapag sale of services, of course, your support would be OR or your official receipt. Again, as I mentioned earlier, whatever amount or yung total ng sales invoice mo or 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 pwede naman pareho din, pag tinotal mo yun, dapat tugma yun sa ire-report mo sa income tax return. Not too low, not too high. Hindi pwedeng hindi tugma kasi mape-penalize ka ni BIR doon. Okay? So, ang support sa sales ay sales invoice kapag sales of goods, kapag sale of services, official receipt. So, I hope I answered your question, Miss Mary Grace. So, yeah. So, yan yung medyo complex. Going back for itemized deduction, yan yung medyo complex pagdating sa itemized deduction. Kailangan mong ma-qualify, ma-check lahat yung condition na yan. Sorry, nawala ako sa sasabihin ko. Pero yan yung mga kailangan mong ma-check, okay? Pag mawala yung isa dyan, invalid yung expenses mo. Okay? So, madalas, kapag gusto mo mag-itemized deduction, pasensya na, pero kailangan mo ng accountant para dyan. Okay? Bakit? Kasi sila talaga yung mag-filter ng mga resibo mo, ay, ito pwede, ay, ito hindi pwede. Kami na yung magtatago niyan. Kami na din yung magsasummarize ng ano. Bakit? Kasi hands-on ka nga sa business mo eh. Ikaw pa ba yung mag-iisa-isa na mga expenses mo? Buti kung hindi ka pa big time. Paano pag big time ka na? Okay, so yun lang naman pagdating sa itemized deduction. Things that you need to consider if you want to choose itemized deduction. Okay? So, yan. Sa itemized deduction, you could deduct the cost of sales. Okay? The cost of sales. So, 250,000. So, kunyari, may binili akong 500,000 worth na inventory. Ayan. So, yung nabenta lang is worth 250,000. Yun yung cost of sales mo. Okay? Hindi yung buong inventory purchase yung nakalagay dyan. Ang nakalagay dyan is yung kung magkano lang yung related na nabenta mo. Kasi yun nga yung cost of sales. Okay? So, yan. And then, pagdating sa 1701Q, sabi ko nga, sa 1701Q, hindi mo pa kailangang i-detail, okay? Yung mga expenses mo. Pwede ka pang maglagay ng at total amount na 150,000, 500,000, ayan. Hindi mo pa kailangang isipin kung saan mo siya ilalagay. Pero pagdating nga ng annual, dun mo na kailangan i-itemize yun. Okay? So, ayan. Kung magkano yung na-summarize mong expenses na operating expenses, dyan mo ilalagay. In this case, 150,000. Okay? So, ang net income in this example would be 300,000. 300,000. So, reminder, the sales and expenses to to be declared are the sales and expenses covered for the quarter only. So, kung again for May, ang ilalagay mo lang is from January to March only. Okay? Yan, sige, I'll take this question. Clarify ko po, yung supplier if walang resibo, yung voucher po ba na papipirmahan sa supplier, provided pa rin ba ng buyer? Opo, provided pa rin po ng buyer. Okay, so bigyan mo na siya ng cash voucher and then siya na yung magpipirma. Okay, yung other side supplier na po yung magpipirma. Okay? So, yan. Sige, since natapos naman tayo sa itemize, sige, I'll check this. Ayan. So, I hope I answered your question, Miss J. Na-answer. Required po ba na ang yung OR or sales invoice numbered sila para complete? Yes po. Kapag registered ka sa BIR, you are required to print your receipts with an authorized printer and of course pre-numbered na po yun. Okay, pre-numbered yun. So, hindi mo pwedeng pa-skip-skip ka or may mawawalang number kasi control din yun ni BIR. Okay? Ayan. Hi, repair service provider po kami ng employee at office. Partner kami, hobby siya na din ang technician owner. Sa bahay lang po at online kami kumukuha ng client home service po. Ayan. Wala yung tanong. Asan yung tanong doon? Ano po ang expenses na i-declare namin? Okay? Bilang isang home service. Siguro, pwede naman yung transportation expense, okay? Kung either kung nagko-commute kayo or kung meron sarili kayong kotse, pwede kayo may gasoline expense, di ba? So, just, again, another reminder is that as much as possible, kung ano yung pangalan ng business mo, yun dapat nakalagay doon sa resibo na ibibigay sa'yo, okay? Para ma-claim mo din as expense, okay? So, yan. Sige, one last question before I move on. Sir, for example, ang proprietor ay magbibigay ng allowance sa sarili niya. Part po ba yun ng expenses? If ever po, expenses po siya, anong proof for that expense? Technically, pag binibigyan mo ng allowance yung sarili mo, ang tawag doon is drawings. Okay? Drawings. So, parang nangunguha ka sa capital mo at hindi yun treated as an expense. Okay? So, kunyari, may fixed allowance ka para sa sarili mo na 5,000. However, that is not called an expense. Okay? That is called a drawings and hindi yun expense. Okay? To be technical. Okay? So, I'll come back for the other questions. Thank you for being very participative. Ayan, yan. Since nasa meet na tayo ng discussion, nakikita na natin at lumalabas na yung mga tanong. I'll come back to that question later after the break. Okay? So, sige lang po. Lagay lang po kayo ng mga tanong and I'll choose the questions na pwede nating sagutin agad-agad. Okay? So, going back. So, taxable income to date and tax due to date. Okay? So, eto, hindi nyo pa po ito masasagutan pagdating sa first quarter. Sa second quarter nyo na ito mailalagay. Okay? So, meron kasi sa 1701Q, okay? Although, ang sabi ko is yung i-report mo na sales, okay, expenses, ayan, ay for the quarter. Pagdating mo sa second quarter, i-report mo ulit yung taxable income ng first quarter. So, babalikan mo yung 1701Q from the previous quarter kasi tatanungin niya dito sa 42. Okay, sa 42. So, this happened kasi na third quarter yung naging example ko. Okay? So, for example, for the nag-second quarter na tayo. Okay? So, itong pinakita ko, for example, second quarter. Nung first quarter or yung previous quarter, meron pala akong taxable income na 50,000. Kailangan ko siyang i-include doon. Okay? So, one reminder also to have your files ready, always ready. Kasi you will always have to refer back to it. Kagaya nito, kapag nag-file ka na ng second quarter, kailangan mo mag-refer back sa first quarter. Kasi kapag na-miss mo to, ayan, mag-under-declare ka na naman ng income mo. Okay? So, kailangan maayos yung filings natin. Okay? So, yan. And then, ang ginagawa niya kasi for the second and third quarter, i-consolidate niya yun. Okay? Ko-consolidate niya. Kumita ka ng 300,000 nung second quarter. Plus yung kinita mo pa nung first quarter, yun yung tax na tax base natin or yung pagkukuhanan ng tax. Okay? At mula doon ko kukunin yung tax due or kung magkano yung babayaran mo. Okay? Magkano yung babayaran mo. So, yan. So, here, ang babayaran daw niya ay 24,000. Ang tanong dyan, paano po na-compute yung 24,000? Paano kung gusto ko pong i-manual at i-check kung tama po ba talaga ang computation ni BIR? Pwede naman yun. How to compute tax due manually? So, to compute tax due manually, coming from our example, 370,000, titignan lang natin yung tax table at kung saan siya babagsak na bracket. Okay, so 370,000, saan ba siya papasok na bracket? So, doon siya sa second, okay? Sa over 250, kasi nga 370 na siya, but not over 400, kasi nga 370 lang siya. Okay? Wherein, yung excess ng first 250 will be taxed at 20%. So, here we have the computation, 370,000. The first 250,000, walang tax, pero yung excess may 20%. Kaya nakuha yung 24,000. Okay? So, pero doon naman sa mga EBIR forms natin, auto-compute naman sila. Okay? So, hindi mo kailangang pag-isipan yon. Okay? Si EBIR forms na. Pero, just in case lang na magkaroon ng bug na hindi kayang makompute ni EBIR forms, ganun po mag-compute ng tax due. Just locate kung saan siya mag-fall na bracket. Okay? And then, kung merong, kunyari, kung 500,000 yan, okay, let's say 500,000, dito naman siya sa 400, not over 400 but not over 800. Wherein yung first 400,000 may tax na 30,000 at yung excess ng 400,000 may 25% tax pa. So, i-add lang natin yun. Okay? So, yan. So, tax due and payable. Okay? So, etong tax due na to, pag nakita nyo to, hindi pa naman yan yung talagang payable natin or yung talagang babayaran. Kasi meron pa tayong tinatawag na tax credits. Okay? Tax credits. Or pwede natin pambawas sa tax na maaaring bayaran natin. Okay? Nagkataon dito, sa example na to, meron tayong tax credits or tax payments from the previous quarter. Let's say, second quarter na to. Nung first quarter pala, nagbayad ka na ng 25,000. Okay? So, medyo illogical, pero let's say 25,000. Okay, na nabayad mo noon. So, kung nagbayad ka na ng 25,000 dati at ang na-compute ni BIR is 24,000, okay, negative pa yung tax payable mo. So, may negative 1,000 ka. Okay? Negative 1,000 ka. Okay? Again, itong 56A, magkakaroon ka lang naman ng entry dyan kapag nasa second and third quarter ka na. Siyempre, yung first quarter mo, walang ganito kasi siya nga yung first quarter. Wala siyang previous quarter pa. Okay? So, yan. So, yan yung maaaring tax credit mo. So, meron ka pang pwedeng tax credit coming from your creditable tax withheld or yung BIR Form 2307 mo. So, kapag nakaka-receive ka ng 2307 or you're already receiving 2307, pwede mo ding ilagay dyan. More on 2307 later on. Okay? How will my tax due change if I choose optional standard deduction? Okay? So, if optional standard deduction naman po yung pinili ninyo, ayan, kunyari, ito pa rin, pero ang pinili natin ay hindi itemized dito sa 16A, okay, sa bandang baba, 16A, imbis na itemized, ang pinili ko ay optional standard deduction. 40% of gross sales or gross receipts. So, kunyari, 700,000. Okay? Yung sales ko. Page 2 na to. 700,000. Dahil pinili ko yung optional standard deduction, okay, merong auto-compute na 40% ng 700,000 na 280,000. Okay? Tapos, sir, bakit nawala na yung cost of sales at wala na yung allowable itemized deduction at hindi ko siya malagyan? Okay? Kasi kapag nag-optional standard deduction ka, okay, hindi ka pwedeng mag-itemize or hindi mo pwedeng i-itemize yung mga expenses mo. Okay? Yung mga expenses mo. So, straight yun. Kung ano yung sales mo times 40%, yan yung magiging deduction mo. Okay? So, 280,000. 280,000. And then you have a taxable income of 50,000. So, yun yung naging difference nila. So, kung makikita niyo dito, yung tax due niya sa line 46, 46A, 52,500. As compared kanina na 24,000. Okay? So, ito yun. So, comparing itemized from optional standard deduction, ayan, sa itemized, ang tax due mo lang ay 24,000. Sa optional standard deduction, ang babayaran mo daw ay 52,500. Pareho lang yung sales ha, okay? Pero bakit mas malaki yung optional standard deduction ngayon? Bakit? Kasi nga, okay, hindi mo na na-deduct yung cost of sales mo na 250 at yung operating expenses na 150. So, nasayang yung expense, okay? Nasayang yung expense mo na magkano? Nasa 400,000. Okay? Nasa 400,000. Imbis na madededuct mo yung 400,000 na expense, ang na-deduct mo lang ay 280,000. Kaya, lumaki yung iyong taxable income ng 490,000. Okay? So, ayan. So, may impact kung ano yung pagpipilian mo. Okay? So, sabihin mo naman, ay, ang pangit pala ng optional standard deduction, hindi ko na lang to pipiliin. At bakit nga ba ako, kung ako naman din na, kung ganyan na din naman yung mangyayari, bakit gugustuhin ko mag-optional standard deduction kung malulugi ako? Okay? So, ano ba ang advantage kapag optional standard deduction? Kapag optional standard deduction, wala kang conditions na kailangan i-meet. Okay? Liban na lang dun sa withholding tax. Kailangan mo pa rin mag-withhold. Okay? Pero yung kailangan mong kumuha ng resibo or kailangan yung supplier mo may resibo, ayan, or kailangan mo magtago ng mga resibo, ayan, kailangan mo mag-file ng financial statement. Kapag optional standard deduction ka, wala yung mga condition na yun. Ang matitira na lang yung withholding. Okay? Kailangan mo pa rin yun. Okay? So, kung ayaw mo ng mga ganong kondisyon, mag-optional standard deduction ka na lang. Okay? Mag-optional standard deduct. Mas gugustuhin mo siguro mag-optional standard deduction. Okay? Pero ano nga bang ang pinaka-best way para malaman kung anong mas maganda? Itemized or optional standard deduction? Okay? Siguro nakita nyo na yung mga ganitong tanong sa mga forums. Yung mga medyo advanced na magtanong. Ano bang maganda? Itemized or OSD? Okay? At ang laging sagot ng mga practitioners ay ano? Do a forecast of your sales and expenses. Nagdaan na yung January to March, di ba? Alam mo na kung gaano kalaki yung maaari mong ma-accumulate na sales in one quarter. Okay? So, mapo-forecast mo na, by the end of the year, ganito yung sales ko. Okay? So, just to give you an example, kung napo-forecast mo na, kung nakikita mo na buong taon, okay, ang sales ko ay 1 million. Okay? 1 million. So, kung mag-OSD ako, ang ma-expense ko lang ay 40% nun, 400,000. 400,000 lang. So, ano yung impact noon? Kapag kapag may expenses ako, may actual expenses ako na malapit na mag 400,000 or lagpas na ng 400,000, mas magandang mag-itemize ako. Kasi hindi na ako malulugi kasi magagamit ko yung expenses. Pero kapag yung expenses ko for January to March, parang malayong-malayo pa naman sa 400,000. Okay? Malayo pa doon. Eh di, mas okay na lang ng optional standard deduction ako. Okay? So again, that would depend on your sale. Akin lang naman, ang base ko is kung 1 million, 1 million yung sale mo, ang OSD mo is 400,000. So kapag yung actual expenses mo, okay, ay sa tingin mo ay mag-i-exceed ng 400,000 na OSD, mag-itemize ka. Kapag hindi mag-i-exceed ng 400,000 na OSD, mag-OSD ka na lang. Okay? So, depende yun. So, again, you play with the numbers. Okay? So, again, forecast your sales. So, yun yung sinasabi ng mga practitioners kapag sinasagot ka ng ganun. Okay? Tignan mo, sa trending mo, ano ba yung magiging sales mo. Okay? And then take note of the conditions needed to be complied for itemized deduction. Kung kaya mo bang i-comply na makakuha ng mga resibo, itago yung mga resibo, at kumuha or gumawa or magbayad ng auditor para sa financial statements, okay, mag-itemize deduction ka din. Okay? So, yun. So, most of the time, itemized deduction talaga kapag, well, based on industries naman, most of the time, ang mga retail or yung mga selling ng goods, they choose itemized deduction. Kasi nga, marami kang pwedeng ma-expense out. May cost of sales ka, may operating expenses. Pag mga services, madalas nag-optional standard deduction sila. Okay? So, yun siguro yung pinaka-tip ko na lang sa inyo. Kung ayaw mo mag-forecast, ganun ka na lang mag-isip. Okay? So, yan. So, eto pa, one last. Once you have already elected a method of deduction, such election is irrevocable for the whole taxable year. Anong ibig sabihin nito? Pag sinabi mo ngayong May 15 na mag-itemize ka na all the way hanggang mag-annual income tax return ka. Bawal ka mag-flip-flop. Bawal na, ay sa first quarter, mas makakatipid ako pag itemize. Ay pagdating ng second quarter, OSD naman. Bawal yun. Okay? Like, itemize ka all the way. Pag OSD ka all the way. Okay? So, kailan ini-elect yun? First quarter. Okay? Kapag hindi mo na-elect kung alin man doon, matik, itemize ka. Okay? Matik na, itemize ka. Okay? So, yun. Be very careful. Sir, paano po yun? Kunyari, nung magfa-file na ako ng second quarter, okay, pwede po bang i-amend ko? Kunyari, feeling, nagkamali pala ako ng desisyon. Sabi ko, OSD. Kaya naman, para mas maganda pala ng first quarter, nag-itemize po ako. Pwede ko bang i-amend na lang yung first quarter ko? Ayan. Well, technically hindi. Kasi bakit? Parang afterthought na yon. Okay? Parang ginawa mo na yon para lang makatipid ka at para makaiwas sa tax, okay, sa buwis. Parang dinaya mo na si BIR at maaaring hindi ka payagan ni BIR doon. Although, pwede ka mag-file, pero pag inaudit ka ni BIR, makikita niya, ay, naka-itemize ka, ay, naka-OSD ka pala dati. Okay? So, again, make sure or whatever choices you make this first quarter. Okay, this first quarter. So I've laid down the pros and cons for itemized and optional standard deduction. I hope that it will help you later on. Okay, so I'll take this 5-minute water break lang, and then I'll also read your questions, and then before we resume, ayan, sige, try kong sumagot ng ilang question. Okay, so break po muna tayo. Ayan, sige, resume na tayo. So before we resume to our next slides, ayan, sagot muna tayo ng mga tanong. This one coming for Sir Deo Mark. Kung collection receipt lang ang document for my vatable expense, can I claim it against my income tax and VAT? Okay? So, for income tax, yes, you could. Yes. However, for VAT, okay, ang VAT, medyo mas strict siya. Kailangan ng uh, either sales invoice lang or official receipt. Okay? That would depend kapag sales of good, dapat sales invoice yung hawak mo. And then yung OR, ayan, kapag sale of services. Okay? Given that ang binigay sa'yo ay collection receipt, ibig sabihin ay naibigyan ka na ng sales invoice. Okay? Kasi yung sales invoice, parang yun na yung parang billing niya sa'yo eh. Parang accounts payable mo na yan eh. Tapos nung binayaran mo na siya, nililisan ka na ng collection receipt. So, hanapin mo na lang yung sales invoice mo at yun naman kasi yung doon ka magkakaroon ng right para i-deduct yun as input tax sa VAT mo. Pero yung collection receipt, pwede siya kahit sa income tax. Okay? I hope I answered your question, Sir Deo. Sige, for transport, logistics expense like Grab, how do we get the receipt from that? So, ayan. Madalas, ang ginagawa na lang namin is yung, di ba, minsan nag-email si Grab and then ng mga receipt ng nangyari doon. So, yan. Tapos, sina-attachan na lang namin ng voucher. Okay, ng voucher. Again, using the Kohan rule. Okay, na hindi naman lahat kaya mag-resibo eh. Okay? So, yan. Hindi naman nakakapag-resibo lahat ng mga expenses. Okay? So, yan. Si SJ Ferrer. Halimbawa po ay resibo ng supplies ay dated Feb worth 100K. Pero ang cost of sales or nabenta is 60K lamang. Paano naman sa libro po since remaining ay Q2 mabebenta? Okay? So, medyo accounting to. Well, kung depende kung ang ginagamit mo ay perpetual or periodic method. Pero kung kung naka-periodic method ka, i-adjust mo lang naman, 'di ba? Kung naka-periodic method ka, ang mangyayari yun, i-adjust mo lang, 'di ba? Debit cost of sales, credit income, credit inventory, merchandise inventory. Okay? So, ayan, para debit cost of sales 60,000, credit merchandise inventory 60,000. Yun yung magiging entry mo para ma-adjust yung inventory mo. Okay? Kapag naka-periodic ka. Pero kapag naka-perpetual ka naman, 'di ba naka-debit naman lagi yun or naka-credit lagi sa inventory. So wala ka ng entry na kailangan. Debit cost of sales, credit debit cost of sales, credit credit inventory. So yun. So, I hope na sasagot ko yung mga questions ninyo. So, yan. Eto. Is it okay mag-optional ka this year at 2022 mag-itemize ka? Pwede naman po. So, the option is always renewable ayan, every year. Again, ang prohibition lang is bawal ka mag-flip-flop within 1 year. Okay? Kung 2021, first quarter, itemize ka, buong 2021. Hanggang sa mag-file ka ng annual income tax return mo sa April 15, itemize yung ilalagay mo. Kung OSD ka, OSD yun. Okay? You can, then, by next year, ng first quarter, doon ka na lang ulit pwedeng magbago. Okay? Doon ka lang pwedeng magbago. Ayan. Service ako at OSD, need pa ba sulatan ng expenses ang books of accounts or COA? Or pwede lang 40% ng gross niya? Okay? As much as possible, mas maganda na sulatan mo pa rin yung books of accounts mo. Okay? Although naka 40% OSD ka. Okay? Para lang ma-update din yung iyong expenses na libro. Para kapag nag-tax map si BIR, at least makikita niya na updated yung libro mo from your sales book and your cash receipts or cash disbursements book. So, yeah. Okay? So, yan. I'll go back to my slides na. Yan. Again, if you still have any questions, just put it in the chat box and we'll talk about that later on. Okay? So, yan. we now go to the 8% flat tax rate. Although, ayan, siguro marami na rin nakapanood nito kung mga nakapag-subscribe kayo before our live. Ayan, I had a separate video upload regarding 8% tax and explaining what the 8% tax is. Pero sige, explain na lang natin din dito. Okay, so 8% flat tax, this was introduced by the train law. Okay, bagong-bago to. Okay, ngayon lang 2018. Wherein ang basis ng income tax ay hindi sa income, din sa baba. Ang sabi niya, ang i-multiply mo yung 8% dun sa taas. So, 'di ba, for every general rule there is an exception. Ito naman tong 8% na to. So, hindi lahat ng income tax pala sa baba or sa net income kino-compute. Dahil kapag 8% flat tax rate ka, maaari na pwede kang ma-tax dun sa gross sales. Okay, sa gross sales. Okay? So, this is an option kapag na pwede mong gamitin sa iyong income tax return. Okay? However, kung dati ka nang registered, okay? So, before 2020, before netong kunyari nakapag-register ka after April 25, 2021, kasi yun yung deadline ng ating other percentage taxes. Kapag nakapag-register ka nun, okay lang na dito ka mag-opt ng 8%. However, kapag before April 25, 2021, registered ka na, doon meron din option doon whether graduated or 8% flat tax rate. At doon dapat nakapamili ka na kung graduated o hindi. Okay? Kasi kung hindi ka nakapamili doon, matik graduated ka na. Okay? So, dito sa Q1 ITR mo, graduated ka na rin. Okay? So, kasi ang sabi sa RR8 or Revenue Regulation 8/2018, okay? Kung sino mas mauna sa kanila, whether 2551Q or 1701Q. At madalas nauuna yung 2551Q. So yung option na graduated at 8%, dalawang beses mo yun makikita sa 2551Q at sa 1701Q. Okay? Dapat, kung, again, nitong 2021, kung registered ka before April 25, 2021, kung gusto mo mag 8%, dapat na-opt mo na yon nung April 25 nung nag-file ka ng other percentage tax return, yung other percentage tax return. Pero kung hindi naman, kung nag-register ka after April 25, ito pa lang yung first time mong mag-o-opt, yan, pwede ka pang mamili. Okay, pwede ka pang mamili. Okay? Pero ano bang pinagpipilian natin? Again, bakit nga magugustuhin mo mag 8% flat tax rate? The advantage would be it is simple, okay? Mumultiply mo lang naman ng 8%. Hindi mo na kailangan yung graduated tax table, okay? Hindi mo na kailangan intindihin yun. Cost and time saver kasi your 8% flat tax rate covers not only income tax but also in lieu or covers also your percentage tax. So kapag nagbabayad ka ng 8%, binabayaran mo na yung dalawang tax return. Parang two birds in one stone. Okay? So yun yung 8%. Kaya cost and time saver siya. And no more filing and paying other percentage tax return. Pero may dito, may asterisk or merong may exception na wherein kailangan mo pa rin, although nakapag-choose ka na ng 8% flat tax rate, pero hindi mo pa napapa-update yung COR mo, okay? Kailangan mo pa rin mag-file kahit zero ng other percentage tax. Nandun din yun sa Section 12 ng Revenue Regulation 8/2018, okay? So, may madalas kasi tinatanong, kapag 8% flat tax rate ba, hindi na kailangan mag-file? So, ang madalas na nagiging sagot, yes, hindi mo na kailangan mag-file ng other percentage tax. Pero nakakalimutan, under the revenue regulation, kapag hindi mo pa napapa-stop filing or na-update yung COR mo na may tatak na 8% flat tax rate or availed 8% flat tax rate, kailangan mo pa rin magpa-file ng percentage tax. Okay? Although, zero na lang lalagay mo doon. Okay? Pero kasi kapag hindi mo final yung other percentage tax mo, yan, penalties again, open cases ka naman, ang tawag doon. Okay? So, ayan, I emphasize that on that video. Ayan, you could, again, after this seminar, pwede niyong balikan po yun. Okay? What is the disadvantage naman, if any, ng 8% flat tax rate? Ang disadvantage naman nito, you can't maximize business expenses. Okay? So, ano ibig sabihin nun? Kung nabibisita kayo sa page ng One Year and Partners, meron na akong meme doon na yung bata, sabi ni, Johnny Depp yata yun, sabi ni Johnny Depp, sabi niya, lagpas na ng 250,000 yung expenses mo. Tapos sabi ng bata, 8% tax rate ako, tapos naipaiyak na lang siya. Bakit? Kasi kapag naka 8% flat tax rate ka, okay, generally, ang deduction mo lang is at 250,000. So, meaning, kapag meron kang expenses above 250,000, tapos naka 8% flat tax rate ka, lugi ka. Okay, kunyari, may 500 ka palang actual na expense, pero nag 8% ka, sayang yung 250,000. Okay? Sayang yung tax savings mo mula dun sa 250,000 na nawala. Okay? Kaya napaiyak yung bata. Okay? So, yun. Pero again, the 250,000, depende din yun whether if you're purely earning from business or professional income or from mixed income earner. Kasi kapag mixed income earner ka, wala ka na ring bawas na 250,000. Okay? Wala kang bawas sa 250,000. Also, kapag nag 8% flat tax rate ka, ang disadvantage niyan is, una, dapat hindi ka VAT registered. Okay? So, kapag nag-register ka sa BIR, hindi ka nagpa-VAT. Okay? And then, you must take the option at the first quarter return, either 2551Q or 1701Q. And then, di ka pwedeng magkaroon ng benefit from either BMDE, from BMDE. Okay? So, what is BMDE? That's a Barangay Micro Business Entity. Okay? That is incentive given by the Department of Trade and Industry, given to any kind of entities, mapa-sole prop, mapa-corporation, wherein you can be income tax exempt. Okay? Isipin mo yun, nag-report ka ng 1 million sales, pero ang tax mo ay 0. Why? Kasi nag-apply ka ng BMBE. Okay? Pero kapag 8% flat tax rate ka, bawal. Okay? Bawal. Okay? Either 2 of the 2 lang yung pwede mong gamitin. Okay? So, yeah. More on BMBE later on bandang sa dulo ng ating discussion. Okay? Once you have already elected a method of deduction, such election is irrevocable for the whole year. Okay? So, ayan. That pertains to your 8% or graduated. Again, irrevocable yun. Kapag sinabi mong 8% ka, 8% ka na all the way. Okay? Pag sinabi mong graduated ka na all the way. Okay? So, this is just to show you the difference between a purely business or professional income earners. Kapag purely ka, sabihin wala kang ibang source of income kundi yung business mo or your practice of profession. And thereby, meron kang allowed na deduction na 250,000 lamang. Okay? 250,000 lamang. Sagad na yung 250,000 na yun. Saan po ba kinuha yung 250,000? Bakit 250,000 lang? Kasi nga, di ba, dun sa graduated tax table natin, ang non-taxable is not exceeding 250,000. So, yun yung basis ng 250,000 na yan. In excess of 250,000, taxable ka na. So, yun. Okay? That is only allowed for those who are earning purely business or professional income earners. Okay? So, yeah. So, yeah. So, yan. Kunyari, ang pinili ko naman is business income tax rate, 8%. So, doon naman sa 16, ang maklik-click ko na lang ay yung 8% doon sa bandang baba. And hindi ko na maklik-click yung method of deduction, itemized or optional standard deduction. Why? Kasi nga sabi natin, kapag naka 8% ka, wala kang option ng itemized or optional standard deduction. Naka-fix na yon na 250,000 max na deduction na yon. Okay? So, yan. So, kunyari, meron akong 700,000 na sales, 50,000 na non-operating income. So, total of 750,000. Okay? And then, I would like you to point to 52. Okay? Allowable reduction from gross sales or receipts of purely self-employed individuals and professionals in the amount of 250,000. Okay? So, yan. 250,000 yung nilagay ko dyan. Ang tanong dati, nung unang ni-roll out itong 8% noong 2018, ang tanong, yung 250%, yung 250,000 rather, yan ba ay per quarter? Meaning kapag sa annual, 1 million na yan? Or 250,000 annual na yan? Ang sagot, 250,000 annual na yan. So, fixed talaga na 250,000. First quarter, 250. Second quarter, 250. Hanggang mag-annual, 250. Fixed amount na lang yan. Okay? Kasi sabi sa, dun nga, sa train law, ang exempt lang na income is 250,000. Kaya fixed at 250,000. Kasi bago nun dati, nung nagkakalituhan pa yung iba, ang ginagawa ay minsan nagiging 1 million pa ganun, pero nilinaw naman yun ni BIR na fixed 250,000. Bawal mag-accumulate. Okay? So yun nga. So yun yung i-consider nyo ngayon. Kung ikaw ba ay mag-graduated or magi 8%, kapag ba yung expenses ko ay sobrang 250,000, mas okay na lang na mag-itemize or mag-graduated tax table ka na lang. Whether itemized or optional standard deduction, again, do your forecast. Pero kapag mas mababa sa 250,000 yung magiging expenses or actual expenses mo, mas okay na lang mag 8% ka na lang. Or, well, kung BMBE ka, bawal ka mag 8% pala. So, yun na lang yung titignan mo din doon. Okay? So, yun. So, that would be your tax due. Ayan. Kunyari, ito. We have here tax due of 41,600. 41,600. O, bakit parang mas malaki ulit? Kasi nga, hindi mo nabawas yung mga expenses mo. Hanggang 250,000 lang yung nabawas mo deduction. Okay? So, kaya medyo lumaki yung tax due natin. Okay? Kapag mixed income earner, ang isa lang na kailangan yung tandaan ay bawal siya na mag-deduct ng 250,000. Okay? Bakit? Okay? Yung 250,000 na yun kasi in-apply na dun sa sahod mo as an employee. Okay? Kasi may dalawang separate computation yan. Yung sahod mo, tinatax din yun at bahala na si employer mo mag-tax nun. At yung business mo, na ikaw yung bahala mag-file noon, di ba? Para sa business mo, bawal ka na mag-deduct ng 250,000 kasi nagamit na yon dun sa side ng sahod mo. So, kasi pag ginamit mo naman yun sa di ba, dodoble na. So, lugi na si BIR doon. So, ang mixed income earner, walang deduction ng 250,000. So, that would also fall or be into your consideration na, ako, sole prop, tapos may trabaho ako. Mixed income earner ako. Kailangan ko ba mag 8%? Kapag nag 8% ako, wala akong deductions eh. So, mas okay na mag-itemize na lang ako. Okay? Kapag mixed income earner ka. Okay? I hope you're taking notes kasi yan, yung mga ganitong mga tips na to, kapag sa iba nyo tinanong, bayad yun. Okay? So, yan. So, syempre, giving back na lang din namin to. So, I hope you do take notes. Okay? So, eto naman, kapag mixed income earner ka, nandito sa dulo, sa number 8, ayan, mixed income earner, income tax rate. Okay? So, again, you could not choose any method of deduction kasi you're not allowed nga. Okay? One thing also, kita nyo, dun sa 52, grade out na yung 52 or yung item kung saan dun mo lalagay yung 250,000. Bakit? Kasi nga, dahil mixed income earner ka, wala kang deduction ng 250,000. So, wala kang way para dayain si BIR. So, sabi mo, mixed income earner ka eh. O, yan. Bawal ka mag-deduct ng 250,000. So, yun. Okay? So, one advice, if you are already a mixed income earner, you're already employed, and on the side, you also have a registered business, ayan, with the BIR, therefore, you're a mixed income earner. mas okay na wag ka na lang mag 8%, mag-itemize ka na lang or OSD, whichever. Okay? So, yeah. So, graduated or 8% tax rate. So, again, nabigay ko na ang limit, 250,000. Okay? Expenses yung titignan ninyo. Kung sa itemized or optional standard deduction, ang titignan nyo ay yung naging sales ninyo. Sa graduated or 8%, ang decision mo naman would be yung expenses mo din naman. Okay? Yung expenses mo. Whether or not, it would exceed 250,000. Okay? So, yun yung magiging consideration nyo. Okay? Ayan. Sige. Sagutin natin to. Sir, up to 250K lang po ba ang allowed as expense kapag optional, regardless kung maliit or kung malaki or maliit yung income mo? Kapag, yun nga, kapag ikaw ay isang kapag pinili mo yung 8%, kapag pinili mo yung 8%, hanggang 250 lang siya. Regardless kung malaki or maliit yung business mo. Okay? Kunyari, ang naging income mo lang talaga for the whole year is 100,000. Okay? So, minus 250,000, negative na yun. So, wala ka talagang babayaran na tax. So, 250,000, fixed na po yun. Medyo mapa malaki or mapa maliit. Okay? So, yeah. I hope I answered your question. Sir, kindly give me an example of a non-operating income. Thank you po. So, maybe you saw yung item ko dito na non-operating income. Ayan. Sir, ano po yung non-operating income dyan? So, yung non-operating income, yan yung mga income coming from yung normal na operations mo. Kunyari, kung nagbebenta ka ng t-shirt, tapos bigla ka napabenta ng furniture, okay, ng office furniture mo kasi hindi mo na kailangan, okay, bibili ka naman ng iba, okay, hindi naman part talaga ng operation mo, so non-operating income ka. So yun, okay, not part of your daily operations na income, pero kailangan mo pa rin i-report, okay. So yan. So, graduated versus 8%. Again, pag graduated, pwede ka magbawas ng mga expenses mo. Pag itemized, kahit ano, actual expenses, just take note of the condition. Kapag optional standard deduction, 40% of the gross sales or revenues. Okay? Huwag malilito, kapag sa corporation, baka mabasa ninyo, sir, sa corporation, 40% of gross income. Sa corporation yun, hindi yun sa individuals. Okay? Magkaiba ang individual sa corporation pagdating sa optional standard deductions. Okay? If you want to learn that, of course, please attend yung income tax on corporation natin na seminar. Okay? Then we go to, kapag graduated, you can maximize your expense, and of course, maximizing your expense, you can minimize your tax due. Okay? Advantage of 8%, simple, cost time saver, and no more filing of and paying of OPT. Pero asterisk nga yun. Depende kapag na-update mo yung COR mo. Disadvantage, graduated is complex, need to account for expenses, and you'll still be liable for VAT or OPT. For 8%, you can't maximize your business expenses. Okay, yun na yung pinaka malaking disadvantage na 8%. Oo nga, madali, pero sayang. Okay, nasasayang yung mga expenses mo kung meron man. Okay, madalas kapag kunyari, I would not advise businesses that are into retail, okay, that are selling goods to do 8% or to choose 8%. Why? Kasi hindi mo pwedeng ibawas yung cost of sales mo, di ba? Sayang naman. Bili ka ng bili ng stocks tapos hindi mo mababawas yun, di ba? More often than not, it will be higher than 250,000. So, sayang naman din. So, I do not advise 8% for retail industries. Okay? Also, ito lang, baka lang may magtanong, sir, yung 8% po ba, pwede yun sa corporation? So, ang sagot doon, hindi. Ang 8% na option ay para lang po sa mga individuals. Hindi po sa mga corporations or partnerships. Hindi po siya pwede doon. Okay? So, yan. Ayan. So, filing and payment of quarterly income tax return, just a reminder, May 15, this coming May 15, please do not forget, nagkataon ang May 15 falls on a Saturday. And according to Revenue Memorandum Circular, RMC, 65/2016, any tax deadline falling on a Saturday, Sunday, or any holiday will be moved to the next business day. Okay? So, yung 15 na yan, yung May 15 na yan, kung hindi ka pa nakakagawa by the time na May 15, may time ka pa hanggang May 17. Okay? Pero, as much as possible, in all tax return, hindi lang income tax returns, when filing, of course, do it as promptly as possible, as earlier as possible. Why? Because the system, medyo unreliable yung system pa natin. Okay? It can break down. And kapag nag-breakdown yun, mapapa-sign of the cross ka man or kahit ano, kung ano mang relihiyon mo, mapapa-amen ka na lang, di ba? Kasi magdadasal ka na umabot yung filing mo doon. Okay? So, as much as possible, beat the deadline. Okay? So, yun din naman yung motto namin sa firm din namin. Okay? Hindi naman kami nagpapatumpik-tumpik pagdating sa deadlines. Okay? So, yan. I would not take this 5-minute break kasi medyo overtime na tayo. Pero kung gusto nyo pa rin akong kausap at nadidinig, ayan, okay lang po. Tutuloy-tuloy ko lang to. Pero I'll just get some questions na lang po. Ayan. Thank you, Sir Valerie. Ayan. Very helpful kasi sobrang anxious ako mag-apply sa BIR kasi start up pa lang. Of course, we open this free seminar not only for BIR registered, of course, entities, but of course, to those na magpuput up pa lang ng business. And very smart yung decision na alamin mo na lahat ng mga taxes na kailangan mong bayaran para informed ka na kung ano yung gagawin mo at ano yung mga kailangan gawin. Okay? Kasi sabi sa isang jurisprudence or sa isang Supreme Court case, bilang isang businessman or businesswoman, sorry for the businessman or businesswoman or entrepreneur, ayan, para gender sensitive tayo. Bilang isang entrepreneur, dapat alam mo lahat ng obligasyon mo, especially taxes, okay? Hindi pwedeng sasabihin mo sa BIR or kapag kinasuhan ka na ng tax evasion, sasabihin mo, ay hindi ko po alam okay? Sasabihin naman ng BIR, may seminar ako okay? Hindi ka naman umattend, okay? Or marami namang nagpapa-seminar dyan, bakit di ka umattend? So, very smart yung move na yun, Sir Valerie, for attending the seminar. And thank you for joining us as well. Ayan, pwede po ba makakuha ng soft copy ng presentation? Thank you. I'll be uploading a copy of the presentation. This presentation or this video will be uploaded naman or stay in YouTube for some time naman. Pwede niyong i-replay ito. But I can share this naman din kapag kung nag-register po kayo sa registration form natin, email na lang namin sa inyo. Pero I will upload this in our group, yung Entrepreneur Help Group. Yan, make sure na mag-join kayo doon. Doon ko na lang din siguro i-upload para may multiple channels po tayo doon. Okay? So yan, maraming salamat. At sige, punta na tayo sa BIR Form 1701, 1701A. Medyo malayo pa naman ang natin, pero ito, next year pa to i-file, pero at least alam mo na kung anong gagawin. Okay? So again, this is for your annual income tax return. Your annual income tax return. So there are two kinds of forms for the annual income tax returns for individuals. Ayan, it's either 1701 or 1701A. Okay? Kapag 1701, you're choosing 1701 because you're an individual who elected itemized deduction and you will be using, of course, the graduated tax table. Or mixed income earner ka. Hindi ko lang na lagay dyan. Or mixed income earner ka. Okay? Yung 1701A naman, ayan, purely business purely business or professional income earner ka, or na nag-choose ng optional standard deduction or nag-choose ng 8%. So, yan. Yan yung pinagkaiba ng 1701 or 1701A. Please do not confuse the two or do not choose the other one or be confused by them. Okay? Na wala na ako sasabihin ko. Okay? So, yan. Pag BIR Form 1701A, 1701 version 2018, Ayan, for purely business or professional income earner, ito yung makikita ninyo. This is, nakalagay lang dito 2019 kasi ginawa ko to noong 2020 pa. Okay, pero well, kapag ginawa mo ngayon 2021 yan, pag dinownload mo yung EBIR Forms, pagbabawalan ka niya. Okay, pagbabawalan ka niya. Sabi niya, hindi pa 2022, bawal ka pa mag-file ng 1701. Okay? Ang pwede mo lang i-file is yung for the year 2020. So, pagbabawalan ka niya. Okay? Pero yan, for the year. One tip also, always before filing your income tax returns or any return for that matter, of course, please check your periods, okay? Kung tama yung periods na um, inaano nyo, pinagpa-filean ninyo. Okay? So, yan. So, eto sa 1701, for the year na, okay? For the year na yung collectively from January to December, yung ilalagay yung sales at expenses. Okay? So, yan. So, if I am a professional using graduated income tax rate, ayan, itemized deductions, ayan, ito yung magiging itsura niya. Of course, do not forget your date of birth. Kailangan yan. Pero hindi naman kayo babatiin ni BIR ng happy birthday. Pero kailangan lang yan. So, yan. Filipino. Ayan. And then your contact number. Again, please bear in mind na dapat working yung email address nyo. Okay? Kasi doon mapupunta yung email confirmation ninyo. Okay? Ito, for the whole year na to, for the whole year, for example, I made a sale of 2.5M and then my returns na 85,000. So I made a net sale of 2,415,000. Okay? Cost of sales, 450,000. Pero nakalagay dyan na applicable only if availing itemized deduction. Again, if you are availing OSD, magzi-zero yan. Okay? So magzi-zero yan. And then you'll have a gross income of 1,965,000 less any expenses. Ito na yun. Yun to yung sinasabi ko kanina. Kapag dating sa annual income tax return, dito mo na i-itemize yung sabi mong naka 1 million ka na expenses, okay, kailangan mong i-itemize yan, iisa-isahin mo. Okay? So, yun nga, as much as possible, hire an accountant so that your expenses would be better classified. Okay? Kung ano bang expenses na to. Kasi pagdating ng annual income tax return, kapag hindi yan naka-classify ng maayos, hindi mahihirapan ka sa pag-fill up ng itemized deduction na to. Okay? Again, when it comes to itemized deductions, ayan, please make sure na bangga, lalo na yung rentals at salaries mo sa mga withholding tax returns mo. Okay? Sa mga withholding tax returns mo. Okay? So, again, kapag sinabi kong may 150,000 rentals ako, dapat pag tinignan ni BIR yung 0619 ECO at 1601 EQs ko, dapat magto-total yun ng 150,000 din. Okay? Kasi kapag sinabi ko dyan na 200,000 tapos yung withholding ko lang ay 150,000, penalty ka na naman, under withholding ka kay BIR. Okay? So, yun. Ganun manghuli si BIR. So, pinagsasabihan ko na kayo, sana hindi kayo mahuli. Okay? So, ayan. Or, para hindi niyo nagawin yung mga ganong mistakes. Kasi, madalas, may mga, well, aminin na natin, may mga entrepreneurs sabihin, hindi, dagdagan mo ng dagdagan yung expenses para mababa yung yung income natin. Lagay mo sa rentals, lagay mo sa marami akong empleyado, marami akong nirerentahan. Hindi nila alam kailangan yun sa withholding. May katapat yun na income tax returns. Okay? So, be very careful with that. Kasi doon yung madali kang mahuli ni BIR. Okay? So, yan. So, yan, may tax. Ang etong tinuturo ko sa inyo ay tax avoidance, hindi tax evasion. Magkaiba yun. Ang tax avoidance is yun, yung advice ko na maging legal. Okay? Legal dapat yung mga expenses ninyo. Okay? So, yan. In this here, ang total ko is 343,000 under line 18. Kaya dito, ayan, 343,000. Kaya dito, ayan, mag-auto-complete naman. Kung ano yung total dito, mag-carry over naman din siya dito sa total dito. Okay? So, yan. So, you have a taxable income of 1,622,000 Ayan, and the tax due of 376,600. Sir, bakit ganun? Paano yun? Kung nagbayad ako ng first, second, and third quarter, okay? Babayaran ko ba ulit yun? Hindi. Okay? Yung mga binayad mo ng first, second, and third quarter, pwede mong ibawas. Kaya nga meron ka dyang tax credits for the tax payments for the first 3 quarters. Okay? So, kung may nagbayad ka naman ng first 3 quarters mo, pwede mong ibawas yun. Okay? So, yun yung bawas doon. Okay? So, yan. So, pag mixed income earner ka naman, okay, itemized deduction, may certain ano ka lang, may certain part na kailangang ilagay. Ito, yung computation ng income tax coming from your employer. Kunyari, employed ako mula sa Yayamin Corporation, ayan, with the employer TIN number, ayan. Sir, saan ko kukunin tong mga information na to? Dapat, pagdating ng next year, February, January, nanghihingi ka na ng tinatawag na BIR Form 2316. BIR Form 2316. That is a certificate telling the BIR na, uy, yung sahod nito, na tax na at naibayad na ng employer niya. Okay? Yun yung safeguard mo na naibayad ka na ng employer mo sa tax ng sahod mo. Okay? So, yung mga information na to, makukuha mo sa BIR Form 2316. Okay? 2316. Okay? So, yan. So, same lang din naman yung ilalagay mo dyan when it comes to your business income. Okay? So, yan. Kaya lang, kung titingnan nyo dito, bakit ganito? Kanina, yung tax due ko ay, balik tayo. Yung tax due ko dito, sa kapag professional lang ako, wala akong sahod, okay, from my employment, 351,600 lang. Pero kung mixed income earner ako, ano nangyari? Bakit naging 478,000? Okay, bakit naging 448,000? Okay. So, bakit lumaki yung tax ko? Kasi kinonsolidate or pinagsama niya, okay? Pinagsama niya yung income mo from your company, from your employment plus yung income mo from your business. Kaya lumaki yung taxable amount mo. However, yun nga, bayad naman na yung yung tax mo from your employment. Pakita mo lang or attach mo lang yung 2316 lang, okay? 2316. Okay? So, for 1701A naman, you have annual income tax return. Pag purely business professional na OSD, ayan, yan lang gagamitin nyo. BIR Form 1701A. 1701A. Okay? So, yan. So, dito, kung makikita nyo, 2.5M, pero wala nang deductions for cost of sales. Okay? Multiply na lang agad, 40% of 2,415,000 is 966,000. Okay? Again, you will have no deductions for any other expenses except for the 40% of your gross sales or gross receipts. Your gross sales or gross receipts. Okay? So, yan. So, yung tax dyan is 299,700. Okay, again, you could deduct your any payments coming from your first 3 quarters, if any. Okay, so yeah. For 8%, ayan, for 8%, i-choose mo lang yung 8% dyan for 1701A. Ayan, wala yung option for your 40%. Nakalagay lang dyan, ayan, as I mentioned, for the annual, kahit annual na yun, 250,000 lang yung pwede mong maibawas. 250,000 lang yung maibabawas mo na deduction. Okay? So, yeah. So, that is for your 1701 and 1701A. Of course, I know na medyo napabilisan ko yung discussion ko. Pero rest assured that we will be having another set of seminars for that. Pag dumating na ang panahon at mag-file na tayo ng income tax return, rest assured maglalabas kami din ng seminar or videos regarding filing income tax annually. Okay? For this time, mabuti nang alam nyo kung paano mag-file ng quarterly. And I hope nakuha nyo po yun. Okay? One thing that I would like to show you lang na hindi ko lang napakita is how to validate your returns. Kasi kapag na-fill up mo na yung form, kailangan mo lang i-validate yung returns ninyo. Okay? So, let me just have this break lang ako ng 5 minutes ready ko lang yung screen share ko. Okay? Ayan. I hope you're seeing my screen now. So, ito yung actual na BIR form. Kung makikita nyo, 7.9 na siya. Yan na yung updated. And again, this is my profile. Ayan, kung may kakaroon ng identity theft, ayan, baka ako na yon kasi, ayan, kalagay na dyan, nakalantad na yung aking information. But you'll just choose fill up. Ayan, so okay ka lang dyan. And then it will load. And then, kunyari, 1701Q. Okay? Then, kunyari, I'll be filing for the first quarter, single proprietor, and I'll choose graduated income tax rate. Ang birthday ko, let's say, is April 5, 21, 1978. Pero hindi naman po ako ganun katanda. So, yan. Filipino. Ayan. Hindi naman po ako foreigner, so walang foreign tax number. And claiming foreign tax credits, wala naman ako nun. So since nag-graduated tax ako, ayan, I have the option whether to do itemize or optional standard deduction. I hope you are seeing this. So yeah, itemize or optional standard deduction. So I'll choose itemize. Okay? So yan. And then if yan, kung siyempre, dahil married ako, lalagay ko yung aking spouses na information. Okay, spouse lang pala. Madaming spouse, mahirap yun. Spouse lang. Okay, nagot tayo dyan. So, punta tayo sa page 2. Ayan, and then you'll just, yan, fill in the details. Let's say, meron akong 150,000 na income. Okay, eto, gawa-gawa ko lang, okay? Pero hindi dapat ganito yung yung paggawa niya income tax return. Again, this should be supported. Kunyari, meron akong cost of sale na 45,000. Ayan. So, 105,000. Dahil yung 105,000 is below, okay? Below the 250,000 na exemption natin. So, wala pa akong tax due, kaya zero pa yan. Okay? So, ano yung sinasabi ko dito? Pwede kang mag-file ng income tax return or any return for that matter, okay? Pero wala kang babayaran. Maaari namang ganun. Pero kailangan mo pa rin mag-file, okay? So, you should still file your returns, okay, kahit zero. Kasi kung hindi, penalty na naman, pasensya na, paulit-ulit, penalty. Pero, ayun, magkakaroon ka ng open case kung tawagin. Okay? Once I am done with this, kunyari meron pa akong allowable itemized deduction na sabihin natin 45,000 din, pala, lagay lang natin doon, so 60,000 na. So, auto-compute naman din siya. Okay? So, kapag done na ako dyan, I'll just choose, ayan, nakikita niyo po yung validate. Ayan, iba-validate ko lang. Validation successful. Okay? Validation successful, click on edit. So, before you submit, okay, you click that submit or final copy, okay? Bago nyo gawin yan, i-review nyo muna yung details kasi mahirap magkamali. Oo, pwede mag-amend pero iwasan natin. Pero yan, review po muna natin yan. So, that's your first page. And then your second page. Sure ka ba na mag-graduated, itemize ka? Okay, tama ba yung quarters mo? First ba yung nilagay mo or second? Ayan. So, yan. Pag okay na ang lahat, yan, pwede mo nang isubmit or final copy. Okay? Maaari namang din na pagbawalan ka niya. Okay? Gawa tayo ng exception. Edit ko muna para lang makita niyo yung error kapag hindi ko nagawa. Ang isa sa mga kailangan gawin. Kunyari, hindi ko na choose yung or wala akong birthday. Ayan, wala akong birthday. Ano ang sasabihin ni EBIR Forms? Validate. Please indicate birthdays of taxpayer on item 11. So, hindi kanya pag-move on or hindi mag-move on yung filing mo hanggat merong mga required na items na kailangan i-file, okay, or ilagay na information. Okay? So, ayan. Okay ko na lang muna to. So, kunyari, ayan. Hindi ko rin po birthday yung 5/21 ng 1978. So, baka may bumati po, wala pong babate. Ha? Hindi ko po birthday yan. So, yan. So, validate ko lang po ulit. Okay, submit final copy. Please ensure you have internet access and a valid email address. Okay, so yan. Importante, may internet, malakas ang internet kapag magpa-file. And number 2, valid email address. Kasi nga, doon mapupunta yung email confirmation mo. Okay, doon yung peace of mind mo na na-file mo on time yung iyong tax return. Okay, doon mapupunta yung tinatawag na email confirmation. Okay, okay ko to. Ayan, okay nyo lang to. Ako hindi ko to okay kasi hindi naman ako mag-file talaga na aking income tax return. Pero kapag in-okay ko yan, ayan, mag-run lang ng progress bar ng onte, ng saglit, depende sa internet connection ninyo. And then may magpa-prompt, successfully submitted, just check your email address, ganto-ganto. Ayan, wag nyo naman agad-agad na i-check yung email ninyo. Hindi agad-agad yung email confirmation. It could take hours. Kapag medyo maaga-aga ka, pwedeng minutes. Pag malapit-lapit ka na sa deadline, hours na. Pag nasa deadline ka na, maaaring next day ka na makakuha ng email confirmation. Depende sa system. Okay? Kaya nga sinasabi ko po sa inyo, mag-file ng maaga para mas maaga din yung peace of mind ninyo. Okay? So, yan. Sige, kunin natin tong tanong na to. Need po talaga bang ilagay yung sa spouse? Okay? As you can see, nakapag-proceed naman ako kahit wala yung spouse na information. So, hindi naman siya ganun ka-required. Okay? So, yan. So, yan. Sige, I'll just be taking questions na since malapit naman na tayo matapos. So, okay lang. Ma'am po ako. Sorry po, Miss Valerie, for that. Miss po pala kayo. Pasensya na po. So, yan. Clarify ko lang po. Ayan, kunin ko tong question na to. Halimbawa, 2019 na ITR, pwede pa rin bang mag-amend or may penalty na po? Sige, magandang tanong na to. Yes po, as long as you could amend as many times as you want, as often time as you want. However, yun nga, kindly avoid them. Okay? Pero pwede, okay? Kahit ilang beses ka mag-amend, pwede naman po. Okay? May penalty po ba? Wala naman po. Hanggat hindi, kunyari, yung hanggat hindi ka nagkakaroon ng incremental na tax due, kunyari, dun sa original tax return mo, zero yung tax due mo or wala kang babayaran. Pero nung nag-amend ka, meron kang 100 pesos na babayaran. Okay? Meron ka palang 100 pesos na babayaran doon. So, doon ka lang magkaka-penalty dahil meron ka palang talagang dapat bayaran. May incremental tax due ka. Okay? How much is the penalty if you may ask? That would be 25% of the tax due. Kunyari, 100 pesos times 25%. So, 125 na yon. And then, plus compromise penalty. Depende kung magkano yung tax due. Kapag medyo maliit lang, 1,000 pesos lang yun. Okay? Sisipin mo yun. Imbis na magbabayad ka lang ng 100 pesos, okay, na tax due, dahil nagkamali ka lang, okay, ang naibayad mo na is 1,125 more or less. Okay? So, yun. So, ayan nga, before filing, please make sure tama lahat ng mga information na ilalagay niyo po. Okay? I hope I answered your question, Miss J. Ayan. What if, ayan, po less than 10,000 po ang salary po ng employee ng business, need pa po bang mag-file ng withholding tax for compensation? Good question. Yes po, okay? Again, even if you have minimum wage earners in your company as your for your employees, ayan, kailangan mo pa rin i-report 'yon, okay? Kailangan mo pa rin. Kahit zero yung tax due or wala ka naman talagang i-withhold na tax, kailangan pa rin, okay? Basta naka-indicate sa COR mo na kailangan mong mag-file ng withholding tax compensation or mag-file ng kahit anong tax type na kalagay doon, kahit zero or wala kang babayaran, kailangan mo pa rin mag-file. Kailangan mo pa rin mag-file. Okay? Ayan. Sige, one last question before I move on. Clarify ko lang po, for mixed income, itemized na less than 250K ang compensation income. Not allowed pa din po ang magkaroon ng deduction sa income or percentage tax. Example, 100K lang ang compensation income niya. Kung mixed income ka at itemized, okay, at itemized, you'll be using the graduated tax table. Okay, you'll be using both for the graduated tax table. Okay, so pwede pa rin ma-deduct yung 250,000 mo. Okay, 250,000 mo. Either yung ano ba ito? Not allowed pa rin ba magkaroon ng deduction? Pwede pa rin po. Dahil nag-itemize ka, pwede yung deduction pa rin sa income mo. Okay? Sa income. Wala kang deduction kapag percentage tax at gross sales po yun. Ang deductions nangyayari sa income tax lang po. Okay? I hope I made that clear. Okay? Dahil naka-itemize ka, opo, pwede ka pang magkaroon ng deductions. Okay? So, yun lang po. One last pala. Sige, ito na. Wala na talaga to. Malalaman ba ni BIR kung may compensation income ka talaga? Kasi for example, employed ako for January to February lang and wala akong ITR. Okay? Well, they have a system for that. Ayan, i-check nila. Kasi, well, anong system yon? Yung employer mo, okay, may sinesend na tinatawag na alpha list of employees. At kapag meron ka ding withholding tax on compensation, you are also required to file what we call the alpha list of employees. And what is contained on that alpha list of employees is the list of employees ng company na yun. At doon makikita ni BIR, winedholdan mo pala si ganito. Si John Paul Wanya, empleyado mo pala to. Sige nga, tignan ko nga kung si John Paul Wanya may other income pa or may registered business. Pag nakita niya na may registered business pa ako, tapos hindi ako nagpa-file ng income tax return doon, mahuhuli ka niya doon. Okay? So, yun yung way para hulihin ka ni BIR. Okay? Through your alpha listings. Okay? Or summary listings. So, may paraan si BIR. Although, hindi pa niya masyado ginagawa, pero kapag nawala na siya ng choice, ayan, gagawin niya na yun. Okay? So, lalo na kailangan natin ng buwis para pangbayad ng mga vaccines. Okay? So, yan. Mukha namang nasagot ko lahat at sana nasagot ko ng maayos. Kung meron pa po kayong mga katanungan, yan, nilagay lang po kayo. At sana natutuwa pa rin kayo sa mga sinasabi ko. Ayan. So, we're going to the latter part of our discussion. Pero ito yung medyo juicy pa rin to at kailangan yung malaman. Okay? So, please stay tuned. Change lang po ako ng share screen. Ayan, so yan, thank you sa 19 to 20 viewers ko pa rin. Maraming salamat for staying tuned and going this far, slide 88 of 94. Okay, so let's talk about BIR Form 2307. Just in case that you receive this kind of form. Ano nga ba to? Ano ba itong papel na to at bakit to binibigay sa akin? At gaano ba to kahalaga sa pagpa-file ng income tax return ko? So, gaano to kahalaga? Napakahalaga. Okay? Because this is good as cash na pambayad mo ng income tax due mo. Okay? Unang-una, bakit ka ba binibigyan ng BIR Form 2307? Ibig sabihin, yung nagbigay sa inyo yan is nag-withhold ng tax. Okay? Ang counterpart nito is yung 0619E or 1601EQ mo na withholding tax. Okay? Madalas na nangyayari to madalas to sa mga nagpapaupa, okay? At registered na nagpapaupa, okay? Wherein, required ka kasi kapag umuupa ka na magkumuha mula dun sa, kunyari, example na lang, 10,000 yung upa mo. Okay? Sabi ni BIR, sa 10,000 na yun, kailangan mo magbayad ng 5%. Ikaw na umuupa, kukuha ka ng 5% na sa 10,000 na yun at ibabayad mo sa akin on behalf ng landlord mo. Okay? Yung 5% na yun, which is 500 pesos, yun na yung bayad ng landlord mo sa tax niya. Okay? Kurot lang na tax. Okay? So, pag binigay mo sa landlord mo, magkano na lang bibigay mo? 9,500. Okay? Siyempre, yung landlord mo, okay, magagalit. O, usapan natin 10,000 na. Bakit 9,500 na to? Yung bibigay mo sa kanya is BIR Form 2307. Sabihin mo, huwag kang magalit. Yung nawawalang 500, ibinayad ko na sa BIR. Okay? Sasabihin ng landlord mo, kung hindi niya alam kung anong gamit ng BIR Form 2307, sasabihin niya, para sa 2307 na to. Yung BIR Form 2307 na yan yung pangbayad mo ng income tax. Let's say po na meron kang 10,000 na tax due. Okay? Ikaw na landlord, meron kang 10,000 na tax due. Dahil binigyan kita ng BIR Form 2307, okay, minus 500 pesos na yun. Bali, ang babayaran mo na lang is 9,500. It is good as cash. So, kapag nabibigyan ka nito ng BIR Form 2307, pakitago, okay, and magagamit nyo pambawas ng taxes ninyo. Okay? Pero paano ko po ba ako magkakaroon ng ganito? Again, most of the time, mga nagpapaupa, meron ganito, BIR Form 2307. Pangalawa, kapag meron ka ng mga tinatawag na B2B transactions or business-to-business transaction at nagkakataon yung mga transaction mo is yung mga tinatawag na withholding agents, top withholding agents, wherein they are required na sa kada bili nila, kailangan may withholding tax na kasama. Okay? So, mababawasan ng konti yung collection mo pero bibigyan ka naman nila ng BIR Form 2307. So, if ever that you are given one BIR Form 2307, you could use this, okay? You could use this BIR Form 2307. Okay? So, itago. Okay? Paano po yan? Kunyari may BIR Form 2307 ako nitong 2021, okay? Itong 2021 first quarter, pero meron akong BIR Form 2307 coming from 2019, okay? Na hindi ko nagamit nung 2020 and 2019. Pwede ko bang ilagay doon sa 2021? Technically, hindi pwede, okay? Hindi pwede. Kasi yung BIR Form 2307 mo, dapat tugma dun sa, period. Kung 2020 pang 2021 yung BIR Form 2307 mo, pang tax return na 2021 lang siya. Okay? So, wala ba akong remedy para doon? Meron naman. I-amend mo yung 2019 at 2020 mo para maisama mo yung 2019 na CWT mo or your BIR Form 2307. Medyo technical pero ayun, may remedy ka naman. Okay? Ito na, yung pinaka-importanteng part kung gusto nyong makameno sa gastos at hindi magbayad ng buwis pero hindi ka hahabulin ni BIR. Ayan, ito ay ang BMBE. Okay, you could apply for a Barangay Micro Business Entity. Okay, this is through the Republic Act 9178. That was legislated in November 13, 2002. Okay? So, ano ba tong BMBE nito at bakit ko pinupush sa inyo to? Okay? Itong BMBE na to exempts you from paying, ayan, just to be clear, income tax. Okay? So, klaro tayo doon, income tax lang. Okay? So, again, marami tayong ibang taxes. Meron tayong withholding tax, meron tayong percentage tax, meron tayong value-added tax. Okay? Hindi ka exempted doon. Okay? Ang exempted ka lang ay income tax. Okay? Pero malaking exemption na yon. Okay? Why? Biruin mo, kung file ka ng sales na 1 million, okay? tapos zero yung tax mo dahil BMBE ka, di ba? Malaking kaluwagan na yun. Una, nakapag-file ka ng tama. Pangalawa, magagamit mo yung ITR mo kapag kunyari gusto mo mag-loan sa bangko. Siyempre, ayaw ng bangko na magpa-loan sa putyo-putyo na 100,000 lang yung sale, di ba? So, gusto ng bangko malaki yung sale mo, lalo na kung malaki yung loan na hihingin mo sa kanya. So, ayun, one thing preventing also taxpayers, especially individuals or any other persons, from telling the truth on how they earn is that ayaw nila magbayad ng malaking income tax, di ba? So, yun, para maging totoo tayo, ayan, merong BMDE wherein you could be tax exempt, okay? Tax exempt. Apart from that, you could also be exempt from the coverage of the minimum wage law. Okay, anong ibig sabihin nun? Ibig sabihin, kung nasa NCR ka, maaari kang magpasahod sa mga empleyado mo below minimum wage, which is 537 at the moment. Okay? So, syempre, sabi mo 537, pag isang tao lang yan, okay lang. Pero kung nakaka-20 ka na, nakaka-30 ka ng tao, malaki ka ng operation, syempre, medyo masakit na yon, di ba? Lalo na kung ang tubo mo lang is parang tubong insik lang, maliit lang yung tubo mo. So, mahirap yun. So, it exempts you from the minimum wage law also. So, malaking kaluwagan yan, especially if you're just a startup or you're starting your business, okay? So, I advise na if you are going into business or pwede po ba to sa mga registered na sa BIR? Pwede pa rin naman po. Okay? Pwede pa rin naman. Kung meron ka ng COR, pwede pa rin ba? Pwede pa rin naman po. Okay? You just have to update your certificate of registration. Okay? So, pero sino ba ang qualified? Okay, lahat ba ng business pwede? Okay? So, sino ang qualified? Who are eligible? So, any person, okay? Natural or juridical. So, medyo technical, legal lang pagkadatingan. Pero pag sinabing natural, ikaw, ako, tao. Okay, natural. Okay. Juridical, ano yung sabihin nun? Mga korporasyon, mga partnerships. So, pwede. Kahit partnership ka, kahit corporation ka, kahit individual ka, pwede ka mag-apply ng BMBE law. Para sa BMBE certificate, I mean. So, pero anong kailangan na condition? Kailangan yung assets mo should not be more than 3 million pesos. Okay? Should not be more than 3 million pesos. Sir, ano po yung assets? Okay? Yung assets, it could be composed of your cash, your receivables, yung mga pinautang mo, your inventory, your equipment. Ayan, walang S, equipment lang. Ayan, and then, ano pa ba? Yan, yung mga, or pwede yung mga intellectual property mo, pwede rin yun. No? Asset din yun. Pero hindi included dito, okay, sa 3 million pesos or pwedeng excluded yung land. Kunyari, pag mamay-ari mo yung land na kung saan naka-address yung business mo, hindi included din yun. Basta, hindi ka mag-over ng 3 million pesos. Okay? Lahat po ba pwede dito? Almost lahat. Okay? Nakalagay dyan, agro-processing, trading, and services. Okay? So, halos lahat na nandyan. Okay? Trading and offices. Okay? So, sino lang ang hindi pwede? Yung mga services, katulad naming mga CPAs, mga lawyers, mga doctors and accountants, na may pumasa ng licensure examination. Okay? Hindi kami pwedeng mag-BMBE law. Pero ikaw na retailer or repair services as in, ayan, pwede ka mag-apply ng BMBE. Okay? Saan po ba ito ina-apply? Sa DTI. Punta ka sa malapit na Go Negosyo Center mo and then apply for a BMBE. May fill upan ka lang na form after a few days or weeks or so, may lalabas, may ibibigay sa yung BMBE certificate and as a proof that you are a BMBE na entity. Okay? Pag lumabas na po ba yung certificate na yun, matik na po ba na wala na po akong babayaran ng income tax? Hindi pa. Okay? If you have already been issued or meron ka ng COR, ayan, Tagalog na lang. Kapag meron ka ng COR, okay, at tapos saka ka lang nagkaroon ng BMBE, later ka lang nagkaroon ng BMBE, you have to update your COR. Punta ka sa BIR, fill up ka ng 1905, and then i-present mo yung original na COR mo, i-present mo din yung BMBE certificate mo. Then after a few days or weeks, i-update nila yung COR mo at i-stamp naman nila na applied for BMBE. And that's the only time na income tax exempt ka na. So going forward for 2 years, and then renewable for another 2 years hanggat hindi ka nakaka-over ng 3 million na assets, ayan, pwede ka pa rin maging BMBE. So, subject for renewal yan every 2 years. Every 2 years. So, I hope you take advantage of this opportunity as well. Makakatulong to, lalo-lalo sa mga panahon ngayon. Okay? So, yan. So, ang pinaka-condition lang dyan, hindi ka mag-over ng 3 million pesos. Okay? Ng 3 million pesos. Okay? So, that is it for our seminars. Yan, medyo nag-overtime tayo. Medyo 5 o'clock na. So, if you have any other questions in mind, ayan, sige, pwede pa natin. Sagad na natin 5. Kung meron pa kayong mga tanong, or pwede akong tumingin pa ng mga tanong na hindi ko pa nasasagot. Okay? Pero kung meron pa kayong tanong, sige, lagay lang po kayo dyan. Hanap lang po ako ng tanong. Ayan, mukha naman na sagot ko na lahat. Kung ano ba ayan, sige, sagutin ko to. Kung halimbawa po nag-opt ako ng OSD at walang resibo, paano ang pagdating sa recording of books of account? So, well, kung may mga expenses ka, hindi naman siguro lahat ng expenses mo po ay walang resibo. Ayan, yun lang yung lalagay mo sa books of accounts. Pero again, for income tax return, expenses mo lang is max of 40% of your gross sales. Okay? Of your gross sales. Okay? So, yan. So, sige, since wala naman mukhang tanong, I just would like to invite you, ayan, to our seminars. Ayan, hindi pala yan updated. Pero we will be having another session of seminars. However, this would not be free. But I'll be putting it in the link kapag in-upload ko to sa YouTube if you want to join. And we'll be also posting, of course, our posts. Madalas naman kami mag-post sa Facebook page namin at Wanya and Partners ng amang mga seminars. Ang susunod na seminar is seminar for percentage tax and value-added tax. Okay? And if you're also interested on learning on how corporations are taxed on their income tax, ayan, meron din po kami yan in the coming weeks also. Okay? So, I hope you do subscribe and in our channel kasi alam ko masyadong mahaba ito. So, maybe I'll put another video out and parang chap-chapin ko yung mga discussion na to and para lang mas maintindihan nyo pa. Pero I hope this has been helpful for all of you and lalo na sa parating na income tax return na filing. So, ayan. Thank you all for listening. Good luck on your businesses. I hope malaking tulong ito. And then if you want to have some assistance on us or consult, to have a consultation, ayan, you may message our page, Wanya and Partners, Gmail, wanyaandpartners@gmail.com. And then for other tax tidbits, again, you may subscribe in our channel. Maraming salamat po. And good luck, God bless, ingat po parati, stay safe, and happy Saturday sa ating lahat, and advance Happy Mother's Day po. So, maraming salamat po. This is John Paul Wanya, signing out. Maraming salamat po.